Yeah. Every time we go live, there's like nobody in this. Oh, we're live right now. Hey, what's going on?
Woo!
Woo!
That's pretty
What's
cool.
up, guys?
What's up?
All right, what's up, everyone? I hope you're enjoying your super sweaty night. So,
Yeah, it
Ray's
is
balls are
muggy.
so sweaty in New York City right now.
It's hot.
Vic,
I was
that's
in Maryland.
there, right?
No, Maryland's a swamp. So, and then it just rained here again. So you'd think it would cool things off, but no, it's just a steam bath.
Oh, it's gotta be muggy as hell out there.
Yeah, I was just watching. I was just watching a live stream of Morris Day and the Time are playing downtown Baltimore right now, and everyone else got umbrellas and shit. And it's like that's gotta be fucking miserable because they're on their suits and they're doing their thing. And yeah, like God, Morris Day and the motherfucking Time. So what's new, guys? What's going on?
Vic's standing.
Huh?
Vic is standing.
I'm standing.
Yeah. Well,
I gotta invest in like a good stool. I have like the Harbor Freight stools.
Yeah.
They're all right, but then your ass starts to like really hurt after like a couple of minutes.
You get the Harbor Freight ache.
Yeah, I gotta get like the bar type stools, but at least you can go up and down on those, so that's solid. But yes, I'm on the opposite side of the room today.
why though?
What you playing?
Yeah, what are you doing?
Well, this is this is my nightly. This is me updating everything to LaunchBox, so it's like I'm here.
Yeah.
Oh, you're doing that on your big cabinet?
Yeah, so I'm on the Bivig cab right now. Like this is.
But I mean, like you've been
Why aren't
working.
you just using your regular PC for that? It's a pain in the ass to do it on that.
Well, not to much. I have all 43 terabytes on this build, so it's like it's just easier that way.
Oh, that's why.
It's just easy. And then for shits and giggles, I loaded. I can't wait. That's why I said this whole move to LaunchBox. I'm anxious to see. I have to do everything. So I got to do the shooter. I got to do the vertical cab, and that's really it. That's all. I have to change everything over to LaunchBox Big Box. So
this is the transition, the great transition. So on these cabs, are you coming from Hyperspin, or are you coming from RetroPie, or it was Hyperspin?
No, Hyperspin. So I love my Hyperspin, but it's time.
It's time to let it go.
I'm actually. It's like whoever's here and all that. It's actually very funny. I plan. Hi, is that Al? Hey Al. Thanks Al. I plan to do I'm gonna do a dramatic YouTube video where I'm gonna be like, I'm done. I'm calling it quits. It's over. That's it. And then it'll be like just a zoom in on the screen of like Hyperspin and then just kind of fading out. And they'd be like, psych, bitch, I'm back. And then LaunchBox, Big Box. I'm going to make it hella dramatic to make it sound like I'm like quitting, like I'm out. I'm done with this. But yeah.
You know, if you want some help, I got a vertical coming up. I got 2 verticals coming up. If I send you a drive, will you want to load your vertical onto that drive just the way you got it? And then I'll transfer it over to LaunchBox and send it back to you?
Yeah, like I said, I have. I even posted it to the Wizards group. I had the hyper vertical. Everything's set. It's literally just going from like
1-to-1
LaunchBox. I'm getting rid of rocket launchers. So many people are like, you could keep rocket launcher. I'm like, I'm not gonna do this move and keep that old shit. But the only thing, honestly, I'm gonna have to do. Oh my god!
He froze perfectly.
I know, right? That's awesome.
Look at that. He's like, hey.
Why? Why did I freeze?
I don't know, man.
Stop your camera and restart it.
Great, sounds right.
Billy Wright's in the house. Billy Wright and Al. We got 8 watching.
Ooh, hello.
Sorry, guys. I'm a little distracted just making a post.
While you're concentrating it in the dark over there, is your vertical just MAME, or do you have other verticals on there?
My vertical is strictly MAME, and then Ice Cold Beer. And the FX2 and FX3, and then now I have to do Pinball M, and then FX.
I got to still download that myself too. I'm very, very curious to check out that new download link for those. So I haven't done that yet.
Yeah, it's awesome. Honestly, I have to test it on the actual like cabinet though.
I have a couple of TeknoParrot vertical games. Like I think it's Raiden 3 or Raiden 4. I have the vertical for it, along with the. When you turn it on, it automatically plays the, what do you call those things? Bezels? Puts the bezels on the side. So if you're on a horizontal screen, it'll put a vertical, but it's already a vertical game. So there's no adjusting it. So I was going to throw that into my my vertical build too. I got One of my customers, he's been waiting a while, but he ordered that giant vertical arcade from Game Room Solutions.
Oh yeah, I remember you telling me about that. Yes.
Yeah. It says in the description of it, it says it's 87 inches tall.
It's wild. And what is that? Is that a 55-inch vertical?
55-inch vertical.
That's insane.
Yeah, I've even asked him, I'm like, are you sure you don't want to do that? Like, I'm like, if we knock it down to like a 43, I'll put an OLED in it for you, just to cover the price difference that he paid for it. And he's like, no, I want to go big or go home. I'm like, man, we're going big on that. Like, I don't even know how I'm going to fit that in my garage.
Whew.
Yeah. I'm anxious to see like the control panel depth versus the TV. My 32, my hypervertical 32, that's like the max. I wouldn't go higher than 32. But then I'm right up against the screen, so it's like 55 is big.
55 is real big.
But are you doing horizontal? Because I was so focused on bringing my camera back. Are you doing horizontal games with the sidebars? What did you say
vertical.
on that?
It was vertical.
That's solid. That's the only way to do it.
I was talking about because TeknoParrot has Raiden. And
yes.
So, but it has it. If you're doing horizontal, it's got the bezels on the side, but you can also make it vertical. So I'm going to throw that onto my vertical build too.
I used to have a like my PC arcade games that it was like not TeknoParrot, but it's like PC games.
Right.
I had like a Raiden like 4, but it would spin Windows screen like 90 degrees. I deleted that shit. I was like, get the fuck out of that.
We have two geniuses to the left or to the right of us who know how to make AHK files.
Yes. I have the AHK. It's just like when you see the fucking Windows going, I'm like, nah, fuck this.
Sorry, I got distracted. What did you want to do? You want Windows to auto rotate 90 degrees?
I already have it set like that. That Raiden, right. It was like it's rated in 3 or 4, and it was a bat file. So it would spin Windows, then it would launch the game, and then it would launch a bezel. And then like exiting, it's like a 5-step thing. And I just said fuck it because
but that's the PC version, right?
It's an executable. It's not TeknoParrot or anything like that.
Yeah, the TeknoParrot version I have just automatically does that. And I think it's rated 3 or 4.
I thought
it's actually very funny that we're talking about TeknoParrot because TeknoParrot now, everything's set to Patreon, right? Like there's no free all the new stuff.
It's also
like I've been helping out that guy Kevin.
Yeah.
So Kevin just sent he sends me the pictures and he's got like some like stacking block game and like
Tipping
Wheel of
blocks.
Fortune. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's all Patreon though, right?
Yeah, Tipping Blocks is Patreon. Yeah,
I love we're still calling it Patreon. We all know that it's TeknoParrot store, but it's say
Patreon to me. It'll forever be Patreon to me.
Yeah.
But it's wild. I'm like, now it's like I'm not even looking at TeknoParrot. I'm cheap. I'm not paying that subscription. I can barely play my games now. Imagine me paying. And if you have it, cool. If you're playing it, fine. But it's just now like TeknoParrot now is just you got to pay to play it.
Yeah, Wheel of Fortune still on there. Yep.
Yeah, when it was Patreon, I was still on a monthly rebill. And I think when Ghostbusters dropped, I did a new subscription to try it out, and I just let it for the one time, not a resub. So I did like the $6 1 month, and it was after that actually somebody on my channel pointed out that they went to go do the $6, and it came. I told you guys, it sold out.
Yeah.
And so their cheapest membership was sold out, but Ray pointed out that's just because they just didn't update the virtual quantity of the merchandise. It was listed as like it was merchandise, and they picked an arbitrary number, like 100 or 1,000 or whoever what it was, and it was the cheapest subscription, so they sold out of it, and nobody updated the inventory count. So I know that there were people that were like, well, I guess I'll just buy the next one up, like $10 to get 2 licenses when I only needed the one, and it's just it came off as like I said, I don't think it was malicious, I don't think it was done on purpose, but the mistake definitely benefited them. And but right, but like you guys were saying, like when they let Aliens, Armageddon, and Terminator Salvation come off Patreon, then I can start to give them some slack but otherwise it's been 2 years for that shit.
Yeah.
So and then like you guys are saying, like all the stuff coming out is just guaranteed Patreon. I mean, back in my day, it was like the cool game, like the really hyped up thing. Hey, this game's like, Scarlet Dawn comes out. House of Dead Scarlet Dawn comes out. It's going to be in Patreon for a little while. Just kind of There's a lot of attention on this, but then we're going to knock it off in 6 months or 3 months or whatever it was. But now it's just permanent.
Yeah, Scarlet Dawn was on there for like 8 months. Even after we had the free PC version too, it was still on there for like a good 8 months.
Well, now I wish they only stayed on for 8 months.
I know. Even those big Buck Hunter games are still on there too, and those have been on Patreon longer than our Aliens and Terminator.
Yeah,
they've been on there a lot longer, and those games are shitty. Like, I mean, I know that there's a following for it, but what I mean by shitty is they don't fucking work right still.
Oh,
like,
really?
Whoever the dev was on that, like, I think I tried to get the one working, and it takes like 5 minutes just to load it. And then when you get on, you got to calibrate the gun in the game, and it's like, my gun wasn't calibrating right. And I'm like, fuck this. Like, it just doesn't work right.
What do you do for your customers when it comes to the shooter cabs? Are you giving them those TeknoParrot games in there, and then they got to buy the Patreon, or?
Yeah, they're on there. They're on there. My arcades are now including the subscription in the price for my arcades, so that people can enjoy those 4 games: The Walking Dead, Jurassic Park 3, the Aliens game, and Terminator game, and whatever else comes out on Patreon. Obviously, I didn't even add Ghostbusters because you guys were talking about how shitty it was.
Sure.
I'm not fucking mad in that.
But you must have it. You must have 700 plus shooting games on a 2 terabyte drive.
2 terabyte drive. Yeah.
Oh, fuck that.
Yeah. Oops, all Lethal Enforcers.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So I'm including that in the thing. But if you buy the drive, they're already on the drive, because obviously I use the same drive for everything.
When you include it, are you including like a 1 month, like a trial thing, or like what subscription are you including?
1 year.
1 year.
Yeah, it's only $70.
I don't think but I think if you do the 1 year, they send you a new code every month now. That's kind of annoying.
No,
I heard that. I only did the 1 month so far. A couple.
I only did 1 month. Maybe if you buy a 1 year, they send you a permanent 1 year code.
That's what I'm hoping, because I heard people say though that you have to keep refreshing your code, and maybe they're just cheap asses like me and did like one code, and I'll just do the month. Okay, well I'll do another month. It's a brand new code for the brand new month.
Right.
But it's
But Joel, do you pay a one-time fee and then they're set for the year?
Yeah, you pay it you can choose monthly, or you hit the drop down and you hit what do you call it? You hit the month. You can hit a monthly, or you can hit the drop down and select 1 year. There's the two options.
Oh, all right. I didn't know there was an option.
1 year, and then after, fucking New York State charges of taxes on that shit still. But after taxes, it's really like $68. So it's like $70. I just round up.
Yeah,
I can spare $70 out of my price on an arcade, especially if you're paying $5,000 for that time crisis arcade.
And those levels on TeknoParrot are not for duration; they're for number of concurrent licenses. So
actually, I'm on the website right now. It's super unclear. It says Sergeant, Colonel, General, but they don't tell you how many.
You have to click on the details for each one, and it's stupid. But basically, it's like an exponential thing. If you look at by price, and they're not even listed in the correct order. You have to. It's like $100, $90, $60, $6, $12. It's all over the place.
No, they fixed it now. They fixed it now. Now it's just sending to us sending. But
good.
You can't buy a year in advance. You have to buy like 1 month, one shot, or subscription per month.
No, it's 1 year in advance. I just did it the other day.
Ray, share the screen.
Oh, I see. Under subscribe, you can pick by year. Okay, I see.
Yeah, you click the, like, if you go to the $6 one, you click that, and there's a drop down.
You buy a year, you save 10%. They really should advertise that on the front effing page so people understand that. Whatever.
I mean, it gives you the option in the drop down. It's one of those.
Yeah, but you got to click the drop down. Just show the damn price.
Nobody reads.
How does the license even work? Because I never did it. Is that like do you get like a file, or is it like a login thing?
You get a number. You get a serial number.
You get the number right off the website here.
Yeah.
So
what is it? Where do you put this number?
Are you going?
The same as before. You still register it in your TeknoParrot UI.
TeknoParrot UI, and then the drop down menu, subscription, and then it says subscription key. What do you want to put?
What's the Emperor of the Arcade package here?
Let's look at the Emperor of Arcade.
How many do you get? 10?
Wait, no, that's the subscriptions. This Emperor of the Arcade is
too many codes.
100 activation.
What the fuck?
100 activation keys.
Wait. So 100 for $2.50 a month is how many? $2.50 a key? Yeah. Right.
Yeah. I know math.
I'm Asian. We should be able to.
Hold on. That's only giving you a 1 month option.
I like how it's translated.
No, it's 1 month or subscription.
I don't know what type of Asian that is translated.
Japanese.
And then you can do monthly subscription or a year subscription.
That's right.
So a
year subscription, $2,700, but you save 10%.
Wait, so that's
You know what?
2007 for 100 codes. That means each year is 270. Wait, no, sorry. No, each
year's
it's 100 codes, right?
Right on the screen.
100 codes.
Yeah, that's
$2,700 a year.
Okay, 270 a year. So the regular price is $6 a month, right?
Yeah. And you can do month or year here, but
so
yeah.
If it was $600, 100 people at $6 a month, and then you multiply it by 12, 7,002. So that's a pretty big margin. That's a difference of 7,002 down to 2007. You could resell those codes basically if you have enough people.
That is a huge headache. See, like that, I feel like that is targeted towards like.
That's the point of Builder. That's the point of the Emperor of Arcade. It's
for a builder
to rebuild or sell and rebuild.
Oh, you get a discount on a yearly for any of them. So a single subscription for a year is $64.80. It's not a huge subscription, but
that would be worth it for me because I'm including that in the arcades. But I don't do 100 on arcades a year, so I would do something less, obviously. But as the year expires, I can rotate that. I would just be rotating licenses.
You can do like the TeknoParrot, which is 30.
That would be more reasonable.
Here's the thing, guys. Though, like if you want to do the year. It's not a one-time purchase for a year. It's still a subscribe for a year. So, Joe, if you're putting a year on,
purchase.
I gotta pee. I'll be right back.
If you're doing the 1 year in advance, like it's under the subscribe. Does that have an auto rebill on it?
No. Well, you can turn it on or turn it off actually when you go to checkout.
Gotcha.
So when you check out, it says you will not be charged again, is what it says, and then you can click an option to auto renew if you want to, because it's a shop thing. That's exactly, it's a shop thing because I went to go do it. So the way TeknoParrot works, when you do the code, you have to put the code on that computer, but you also have to be on that motherfucker's internet when you do it.
Right.
So I sent the PC to a customer 2 weeks ago, and I hopped into his computer last week, and I was like, he was waiting a while, so I'm like, I'll throw in the TeknoParrot code for you. And I went to go buy it while we were logged into him. And his shop, we had to put it under his email. So his shop information came up. And I was like, I don't want to enter my credit card information under your shop information. So I'm like, why don't you buy it? I'll Venmo you right now or PayPal you right now. So that's how I remembered its shop.
Yeah.
But you can just buy one shot 1 year and 50 codes or 30 codes, and that will get you a discount.
It will.
But it sounds but the question is, after a year, is Joel going to have to send these 30, 50 people a new code?
No. The smarter
When the code is
smarter idea would be say, I'm giving you a year free or a year included in your price. After that,
it's on your own.
You're on your own. Right.
See, the problem with that, though, is I would have to get all new codes after that first year because those codes otherwise I'd have to tell those customers, hey, we got to turn off your subscription type of thing instead of just letting it expire.
No, you just let it expire. Let it expire, and then
let it expire, and then tell them that they have to get their own code. So
it's expiring under their own name, though. So they get the arcade for me.
Smart.
They get the arcade for me. Then I remote in. So I'll put my code in while I'm demonstrating the arcade from here. But when they get the arcade, we have to log in under their email and create an account for them, and then they have to check out, and then I'll pay them back. So that it's going under their card.
I'm already lost.
No. Actually, no. That doesn't make sense. That's not, because if you do the TeknoParrot, right? It's under your name, obviously, but you don't subscribe. You don't do auto renew. You just buy one shot, 30 codes. You get 30 individual serials. Each customer gets one, and then after the years expire, their code will automatically deactivate. Nothing. They don't see your info whatsoever.
We don't know that though, if it's going to automatically deactivate that specific code, because I would be doing that on a yearly basis. So when I renew my code, there's a chance that everybody's code gets renewed. So
I was going to say the other thing also that, let's say if Joel buys 30 codes right now, but he only needs, let's say 5, those other 25 that are sitting in queue is now being wasted.
Right, they're counting down. That's right. That doesn't make sense. Right.
I do wonder, though. I'm pretty sure somebody's gonna figure out a way to put this code, and then I don't know. Maybe there's a way to go offline on your computer and then just change the date and time, and then you'll still.
I don't know. They got that thing pretty locked to the computer.
It's locked, but you don't have to be online to use Patreon. Do you?
You have to be.
Really?
Really? So for me to play Terminator, I have to be online.
You have to be online. Yeah. If you buy the Patreon code and you enter your code into TeknoParrot and register it, and then you turn your Wi-Fi off, you can't load the game. The game will say it doesn't register your key.
Fuck that.
You got to be
yeah. I remember when I first started putting the Patreon stuff on the gun cart. It's over my brother's. I had to get a little USB Wi-Fi dongle, just so the games could launch, because it was an old PC, didn't have Wi-Fi or anything like that. Because every time you launch the game, it was trying to validate, so you couldn't get away with it, sometimes it won't validate. So
none of
games would like to add Halo, Family Guy Bowling, Buck Hunter Reloaded, some newish Golden Tee. I would play some Halo.
The Halo arcade game is cool.
Halo's got to be the
Hunter
next one.
Reloaded, the zombie one maybe.
Yeah, although I was hearing underwhelming results from the re-release of Halo with the tethered battle rifles. I'm hearing that's kind of an underwhelming experience, but it's the same game.
It's the same game. The rifle might not be great. That's why I didn't buy it. It's
the recoil seemed a little lacking, a lot lacking, and the gun was very kind of lightweight, hollow kind of feel.
What do we got? Wait, what do we got? We got a Halo game with a tethered gun?
No, so the Halo Fireteam Elite or Fireteam Raven, whatever it was called, with the mounted guns.
Oh,
they re-released it, but now instead of being 4-player with the mounted things, it's 2-player, and they have tethered Halo battle rifles.
I got you. Yeah,
so they were pretty cool looking, but apparently they're kind of feeling kind of cheap.
Gotcha. I gotcha. That's got to be the next game coming, though. It has to be.
I doubt it, because Halo is still in arcades right now, so releasing that.
Those Ghostbusters.
Well, a lot of things are
in
arcades when they got released.
Yeah, that's true.
I feel like they just try to get the cabs, right?
I mean, when was BattlePod supported?
You don't need the cab, but you need the
right
PCB at least.
BattlePod's still in all the arcades right now. That's still a $15,000 game, and we can play.
Oh no, but when it first came out, it was still new. When it came out, when it was emulated. So
the bowling games suck. I can tell you that.
Hey, can we stop saying emulated on TeknoParrot, and can we stop calling TeknoParrot an emulator? I know it's just a shorthand, but it's I bother myself when I call TeknoParrot an emulator. It's what do we call it?
It is an emulator.
No, it's because these games all ran on PC already. It bypasses the controls, and it allows encryption bypass. But it doesn't emulate any hardware. That's emulation. So MAME is emulating hardware and software. TeknoParrot doesn't emulate shit. It bypasses and cracks.
Hold on, let me see.
That's what it is.
I feel like I like the argument, but then I kind of compare it to how I don't know, compare it to CPS 1, 2, and 3. It's different
No, it is an emulator because the NASICA X Live board, the title boards, those
are it's different boards. It's not like Windows.
Yeah, it does also play. You know what? I guess you're right. The majority of the games that I was originally playing on TeknoParrot actually were Windows games,
Aliens Extermination. Those are the good ones are, but the old ones are definitely PCB boards. I know that. And then the rest are Windows PCs that have dedicated IOs.
Right, dude Arcade. He brings up a good point. Oh yeah, we never got a crack for the Takadana Star Wars Episode 7 level for BattlePod.
Right.
The dump that went out there was pre-Takadana. You figure somebody would have dumped the Takadana level by now, but no. On that note, nobody's ever dumped a 2-player compatible version of the game. The flat screen has a link play 2-player. There's no way to emulate that. There's no way to play that.
The TeknoParrot gods probably don't even have that machine anymore. They probably got rid of it.
Oh, and if they did, it was I'm sure it was just the main board from the original. What about the other pod games? Remember, wasn't there a Mac, was there a Gundam or a Macross? But they used the exact same hardware as BattlePod, but there was the other pod game. Mockstorm was one of them. Yeah. I was thinking there was one in Japan that was based. I know it was on an anime. I can't remember if it was Gundam or Macross, but there was another one.
I think it was a Gundam. Crapping hell. It was a very weird looking game. That one's already emulated, but it's.
When is somebody going to dump the Japanese version of the Star Wars game from '93? Star Wars arcade game. We don't have a dump of that game.
Well, it can't be emulated. It currently breaks, and that I remember the last time I read up on it. It's super cool. Is the they said that if we could get our hands on the original boards, we could try to fix this part because you can play the Star Wars arcade, the '93 Sega one. You could play it, but the game quickly becomes unstable. It stops loading graphics, and then all of a sudden you're in the middle of an asteroid and can't do anything. And yeah, the game almost immediately self-destructs because it can't handle the physics in the game. And
is
it
like 2D? That wire?
It's a wireframe looking thing. So everyone plays the 32X port of it, which it was decent for 32X, but it's not the original. Like, it's not. You can play the original. I put it on my Star Wars Arcade 1-Up Star Wars mod, but you're a few minutes into it, and then the game just goes completely haywire, and then it crashes.
Interesting.
Yeah. They said that last I read up, I wish I could remember where I was reading up on it, but they said that if they could get a hold of the original hardware and they reverse engineer some of the chips that do some of the geometry, they could get it working.
Nick Wisniewski over here. He's the guy that I was talking about where I logged in and we did the TeknoParrot Patreon or subscription thing on his PC the other day.
For Guitar Hero?
Not for Guitar Hero, for Sending Guns. So he's going to be ordering a Guitar Hero at some point eventually. So I think Nick is waiting to see the new version of my midsize before he does anything, which is going to be revealed in about a week and a half, 2 weeks, something like that. I really got to get working on that.
None of us are in Cali. I just discovered. I feel like Ray sent this a while back. The archive for the TeknoParrot games. I was like, my list isn't updated, but then I just looked at it and it goes, oh, there's an archive too.
Yes, there is.
And now I can see the other games. Like, oh shit! Now I can see the Tippin' Blocks, Ghostbusters, Go-Go Strike.
No, Go-Go Strike's not playing well.
Did you guys do Injustice?
Injustice is not bad.
Injustice sucks.
It's a card-based game, but you get like 3-button attacks. That's all. It's the port of the Android version.
TeknoParrot's $6 a month.
Starting price.
Yeah. Starting price.
Like Injustice, I thought was like a modern. I never played it at the arcade, but I figured it was like an Injustice, like Street Fighter. But you're right.
No, it's a simplified version. It's just like three attacks. That's it.
It's a button masher.
Yeah, exactly.
It's you can play Injustice 2 on PC.
Yeah.
Like I have Injustice actual 1 fighting game is much better.
Right. Yeah, the fighting game is way better. The arcade version sucks. Sucks so bad.
See, I'm looking at this TeknoParrot list, and I'm like, most of these are Ticket Redemption, 100%.
Yes. A lot of them are fighters too. There's an overabundance of fighters. Yeah, like what is it called? Let me think of a game. Well, not Death Crimson.
I see, like I said,
Alive. There's Crimson Tide, I think. There's Darius. Darius something.
Oh, Darius Burst. I think that's
Darius Burst. That's the horizontal version of.
I think it is something different.
Like Raiden.
Yeah, Raiden. It's basically Raiden.
Like, because I have to go through and I have to individually map those when I'm doing my megas. So, like, half the games that are under the letter C, those are all fighting games. Chaos Burst. I think it's called Chaos Burst or Chaos Breaker.
Oh, yeah, Chaos Breaker. Yep.
Chaos Breaker, Code Redemption, or whatever it is.
Yeah, I mean, there's a shit.
So I feel like Ray said that that's no longer a thing. So we still have to do the individual TeknoParrot mapping on each build?
On each one, yeah.
For what? If you're talking for the fighters, no. For light guns, if you don't have an auto remap utility or something like I do, then yeah.
What do you mean for fighters you don't? For fighters,
fighters, or like for anything other than light guns, anything other than raw input, right? You can set it to D input or X input. Okay, both work, and it'll remain the same. Whatever two controls you have plugged in that are D input or X input will work. Right. There's no like whatchamacallit, individual device IDs for those two.
No, but you got to go game per game to set the.
Oh yeah. Because every game has some weird ass buttons. I thought you meant like the controls don't stick. No, they stick. No, but you have to do game per game. Oh yeah.
So the one thing I never did when I switched over to using the iPack, because I set up everything as an Xbox controller. So the one thing I never did when I switched over to an iPack was do a TeknoParrot version that I have under the iPack. So every time I do a Mega or something with TeknoParrot on it, I have to individually go through and map all those games.
You can just copy over the user profile XMLs, right?
I don't have one set up under my iPack.
You have an X input, right?
X input carries over. I don't care about X input. I'm talking about my fighters. So when I want to do the arcade sticks on the fighting games, I have to individually map all those fighting games.
But your fight stick, your build is using an iPack, right? What, in keyboard mode, you mean?
Yeah, in keyboard mode.
Oh, I thought you were using.
Yeah, you don't do right. You don't, Joel. You don't do the switch, right?
No, I don't do the Switch at all.
Right.
Oh, no, you gotta go through all that.
I got everything set up under the keyboard for the iPad. Everything is set up as keyboard inputs because then when you plug in the Xbox controllers, or I've been using the 8-bit do wireless ones now. Once you turn those on, those are already X input.
Right.
So everything I have that's already set up as X input, I don't have to do anything. So the only emulators I have to configure manually is MAME, Model 2, Model 3, and TeknoParrot.
MAME
and
carries over.
Demul. I have to do the Demul for Naomi and Atomis Wave.
MAME carries over for X input.
I'm not doing X input with iPac. I'm gonna murder you.
I'm actually not. I'm more. So you're using
over for MAME though. That's for sure.
I'm not.
You're still using the Mule, right? You said for like yes, yeah. I did like what do I have now? I think I'm using.
Flycast.
I'm not using, I don't want to use Flycast because I tried Flycast on the Racer and I couldn't get it to carry over with the configs. So it wasn't saving configs and then it wasn't saving the path for like the BIOS files and shit. So that was a pain in the ass. And I'm not doing it on my drives. It's just easier for me to use Demul. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
Demul puts out 4K.
Yes, as long as you use the right graphics card. Yes,
right. And then
it's just like I said, I've been doing. I'm on personally the hike on like what's being currently like updated, what's doing all that.
Flycast is still updated.
Right.
Like every 6 months or so. The mole stopped. The mole is done. That has been updated since 2018.
It doesn't need to. Though.
Right, but back to it. It's emulating a game from 1993. So like, how much
like Joel's saying, it's yes.
Naomi 2 doesn't work though.
I do a separate one for. Is there? I don't even know what's under Naomi 2. Honestly, what's under Naomi 2?
Virtual Fighter 4 is a nice one.
It's like diminishing returns. It's like when the CPS3 board came out and it had like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure and Street Fighter 3, and that was like it. So,
I mean, well, that's like Hikaru, right? Hikaru has
Hikaru. We were just talking about Hikaru the other day about Star Wars Episode 1 Racer and Brave Firefighters, two games that couldn't be any different, but they both are emulated for crap because like Demo has a Hikaru core that it can do, and you can get dumps of these games, but nothing loads correctly. Like the backgrounds in Star Wars Episode 1 Racer don't load.
Really?
Brave Firefighters, like whole characters don't load.
Yeah, it's graphically glitched. Yeah.
But now is that being run by Demal?
Yes.
Is it Demal or the M2 emulator? It's one of those.
Which one?
It might be the M2 emulator, but yeah, you can run it into the Hikaru.
Oh, B.
So. Hey, B.
Look at this. Do you know you could do this or this? Well, this is what's great with casual banter. This is like, I'm learning. Yeah. Every stream I learn something new. So
Nick is doing a whole migration, so he's learning new emulators while he moves.
He's making the grand switch. But on the note about what emulators can do, I was talking about like I really actually do like Brave Firefighters. We were all talking during the week over message because somebody was selling a Brave Firefighters Deluxe with the tethered fire hoses and everything, and I just like, hey, you guys, that game was never actually emulated correctly, but I did put it on the gun cart because I did like it.
Joel has it, and then Brad mentioned about the sound thing, and I still have to try that on mine.
The game has sound, but it doesn't have, when you're emulating it, there's no voice, and there's voices. And I found the stupidest thing. If you just go to the test menu and don't enable anything, go to the test menu and exit the test menu. It reloads them the main title screen, and now the voices work. So when I launch Brave Firefighters, I have an AHK that launches it, and then just does a wait, send key to like test menu. And then, so the game loads, and it goes like, Brave Firefighters. And it's like, that made me feel good that it just worked.
But that fix doesn't work if you permanently, like you have to do it each time?
Every time the game launches, there's no voice.
Invasion needs that hack.
What if you load the test menu, load the proper sound, don't escape the mule using your AHK. Just minimize the window.
Yeah, the old-fashioned exit cleanly. Like that's what we used to do to save control mappings, but it's not a mapping thing. And you're not actually enabling the sound in the test menu.
It should be the NVRAM. It's not. If you close clean,
it sounds like it's supposed to, but Brad's saying no.
Let Brad finish.
Well, yeah, no, it's saying that you're not actually enabling the sound. You're not making any changes to VRAM. You're not changing any values in the test menu. Just entering the test menu and exiting the test menu gets options. So, and yes, Chad, I was really bored. I was working on updating your damn gun card.
I was just going to say, he's doing it for you, Chad.
Yeah. And I was like, and you know what? I bet you Chad and his kids never even played Brave Firefighters. Nobody cares.
Watch now Chad's gonna make a video and post it on YouTube of his kids playing that game.
He's gonna send it to us.
I told you.
If Chad's bored right now. He's stuck in an airport waiting for an international flight that was just delayed like 4 hours. So he's got nothing better to do than
I did see that on Facebook. I saw him at the bar.
What
I was
does
like, damn.
Chad's YouTube have? What is on his channel? Just out of it.
Yeah, Chad, what are you doing on YouTube? Nothing.
I don't think he is.
Let me look him up. Let's see if he has anything.
I don't think he has anything.
I don't think Chad has a YouTube, right?
He does. He has
an
one
account.
subscriber.
Oh yeah, he does, right?
It's just junk. It's got like
junk. I'll make a video out of spite. That's
Me?
it's literally like 10 videos of just his car, the inside of his car, like this, and one cartoon. I don't know what's going on.
You guys want to see what Chad would do if given an account? Here we go. Let me present here for a second. Screen share.
Is it going to be swimsuit models walking across the screen?
No,
This
is what Chad does if given Chad the opportunity to have a YouTube channel. Oh, now it's going to buffer forever because there we go. This is Chad. This is what Chad does.
Is that a McDonald's cup from 1983?
He's making a McFlurry. That's Chad's channel.
A McDonald's cup.
I love this. I love it. I like how he's like doing your testing. Like you probably said, like, Chad, do me a favor, just stand right here, just make sure this whole camera works and all
let
that.
me know when we're live.
And he just went live and didn't tell him.
That's what I figured.
That's some serial killer shit right there.
That's from like I went over his house to. We did like a live mod of Arcade 1-Up into a like a RetroPie thing. So
oh god, RetroPie.
Yeah.
What's it? Taki Udon has FPGA coming out.
Who?
YouTuber Taki Udon. So Taki Udon, he's making a budget $100 FPGA board. Yeah, so you can have perfect emulation of some vintage games.
Nice. We were talking about that on the last stream about FPGA. About like I totally respect it, like the actual like perfect emulation of hardware. But also like we got into a tangent of like, is it the worth it of the complexity or the cost or this, and it's good that the cost will be brought down. But you start talking about like you guys deal mass market, you guys deal as products.
Right.
So like that's when it's like at one point I could tell Vic tuned out. He's like, "Fuck it, I'll just do a Pandora's box." So
I'm telling you, that's where like Joel was like, "Oh, look into like a Batocera bill." I'm like, "No, I'll stick to I'll either give the option of let's go cheap and simple with Pandora, or we just go to the extreme of PC."
I'm telling you,
speaking of that,
I'd rather buy yours, dude, and then just like pay you for it and then sell it.
I'm gonna hit up Joel for the same thing. I did a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Arcade 1-Up mod for a friend. He did it. It was a Christmas present for his kids. So we did a 4-player RetroPie build. I did something off Arcade Punks and then went through and curated the list and switched all the game options to 4-player and stuff like that. And he really wants to go full PC LaunchBox on it now. He just wants to, and full thing. And so he was digging up a PC and he's got like a 1650 graphics card. I'm like, that's great. And he's like, so how do we can I just copy my games from the RetroPie into LaunchBox? Like, no. I mean, the ROM is the same. No. It would just be, I mean, technically the games are the same,
right.
But it's, but no. So I'm like, okay, so what you got to do is you got to hit up, and by you, I mean, I've got to hit up Retro Lizard and get a LaunchBox build and we'll like pop a drive in. So
yeah, because I mean, again, Joel's the master on the Batocera. It's Linux still, so it's like you still have to like. Yeah. It's kind of like RetroPie where you got to like take the games out, right?
Yeah. It really is an image. It's a set list of games.
You can't focus, but this white screen right here is. I wish it would focus. I'm sorry. The white screen right there is loading up. I'm loading up shit right there, as you can see.
He's pirating stuff as we speak, folks.
I'm pirating stuff from my own pirated stuff. I'm double.
If I ever, like I said, the plus side to the Batocera is like I definitely like Joel because he's got the 4-player setup. So
yeah, I got it.
If you have like one. If your Batocera is running like NFL Blitz, that to me is like already golden. Yeah. Like people will go nuts for it.
So for those who aren't up on the RetroPie, Batocera, LaunchBox thing, so it was like if you want to emulate, it was like go and just download a RetroPie image on and then get a cheap Raspberry Pi, and you're playing Nintendo, you're playing Sega. It's a lot of like stuff like that. But Batocera is a similar thing where it's kind of an image and it's still Linux based. and it's got a set curated, stack of games that runs on a PC. So it's a Linux image that runs on a full PC versus something that was specifically written for RetroPie. So Batocera is going
to too if you wanted to.
Yeah, no. Now Pi 4 came out, Pi 5, all this stuff where it can do more. Batocera, it's kind of like the sky's the limit because you could put it on a PC that has all the power in the world. So
Batocera is like I always say Batocera is like RetroPie on steroids.
Yeah,
especially if you're doing it for console. So like if you're going to go really high. The problem with Batocera is that my regular PC builds, I do the iPack and then I do the controller so that it has a seamless integration, right? Nothing's interfering with each other. That doesn't work that way on Batocera. Batocera, if you say I got my 2-player arcade layout, right, and then I plug in a controller, this controller automatically takes over as player 1.
Right.
Then the player 1 arcade stick moves to player 2, and the player 2 arcade sticks moves to player 3. It's like a domino effect moving down the line. This always takes over as player 1, the controller. I can't get it to stop. And I don't know why the Batocera devs have never worked on this, because everybody's been asking for this for years at this point. We want a way to be able to have a controller plugged in along with arcade sticks so that we can play the console games with the controller without it interfering with player 1 and player 2 and moving it over. So Batocera has never fixed that. So when you're building a Batocera build, what I'm getting at is that if you're going to use it for an arcade, you really should focus on games that will play with the arcade sticks correctly.
Right.
You shouldn't just get like a bombed image, right? No, I hate those bombed image anyways. But if you're going to go and just use it with controllers and use it on like a TV, then, dude, you're right. Sky's the limit with that, dude. It will go all the way up through Xbox 360. The only thing it doesn't emulate is TeknoParrot, and I'm sure that's coming.
And that's coming. I mean, they've been talking about what was what was it called? It's there is a TeknoParrot there's a TeknoParrot that launches in Linux.
There is.
Yeah, I forgot what it was called.
And it's under a different version of Batocera. There's a hacked version of Batocera out there, and it runs this thing called Wine, which was actually
that's a Windows emulator, a wrapper.
So that was actually integrated into Batocera in version 39 and 40. And the 40 just came out. I didn't upgrade yet. But the Wine emulator is what was allowing people to play TeknoParrot on the hacked version using the TeknoParrot emulator. But a lot of people are still using the standalone games to launch into TeknoParrot. Like, I seen a video where a dude had the Batman racing game on his Batocera build, but it was using version 39, and he was using it with a controller. So it's possible, but they have to be standalone games. But when they get TeknoParrot in there, it's over with. Batocera's king after that.
But now, if you wanted to add a game to Batocera,
it's a pain.
It's not. Do you know
I don't know. I don't know.
So if you want to add a game to Batocera, you just plug in your drive, right?
Yeah.
And you got to have a keyboard plugged in too. You plug in your drive, plug in a keyboard, press F1, and then all the files load up. All the files for the entire system just show up, right?
Yeah, but I can't download the ROMs from Batocera. There's no browser on there.
No, you need something you can browse the Linux file system, and then you'd be able to browse.
You have to put it on a USB drive.
You have to put it on a USB drive. It has to go.
So essentially, if somebody said to you, "Hey Joe, I want to add this game. Can you TeamViewer in and add it?" No,
I can't TeamViewer in. No, there's no TeamViewer. There's no support. But you don't need it with the Batocera system. You don't need any support because if they want to add a game, sure. All they got to do is just plug in the keyboard, hit F1, and then it literally says ROMs on the folder. I know I'm pointing at it like you can see it. It literally says ROMs on the left-hand side. You click that, and all the ROM folders are right there, literally labeled correctly, so you're not hunting for a folder that's labeled all fucked up or funky.
All fucked up.
Yeah, all fucked up. And then you just paste it into that folder, close that window, hit the space bar, hit the update games list. Voila, it's there. That's it. It's automatically there.
Core for like emulating the, how do you choose the emulator when you're dropping in a ROM?
So you can do that in a couple different ways. Batocera already has it automatically set. So for everything that has the individual emulators, like Model 2, Model 3, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, and whatever so forth, Dolphin standalone in here too, they already have the system set up to where it automatically recognizes that game goes to that emulator. So you don't have to change that. But if you need to change the emulator because the game isn't working, there's usually multiple different versions. Like PlayStation 2 has PCSX2 inside it, but then it also has the Libretto cores for PlayStation 2. So you're going to be able to play any PlayStation 2 game you can. Some games will play better than others between the emulator. If you want to specifically change the emulator for that game, you hover over the game, hold down your enter button, and then you get an advanced menu that pops up on the right-hand side. Literally says advanced game menu. You click it, and then it says emulator at the very top for the first option, and to the right, it'll say auto. And when you click on it, you get your drop-down of emulators to select from. If you need to change your emulator, you have to do that in MAME for the guns. Guns run on, they have 4 emulators for MAME. They have MAME Libretto, MAME 139, and then MAME 184, I think it is, or 187.
I thought it was one. Yeah, I thought it was 197. Maybe it was 187, but
something like that. Yeah. The number doesn't have to be technical, right? When you're doing the gun games on there, the gun games run on MAME 39. Between MAME 39 and original MAME is what they run between on there. Trackball games all run on MAME 39. Am I boring you, Brad? You look like you're holding it in a yawn.
No. I know all this. I tried it one time.
It's been a long weekend.
Actually, yeah, I've been drinking for like 4 days straight, but I'm actually just drinking water now.
Don't fall.
No, it was
unrelated to alcoholism. That was just like whatchamacallit, viscous floor tile.
I don't care. I can still fuck with you about it.
It's cool to have the option. It's just, honestly, dude, me doing it for so long, I'm like, listen, you're either going to, and it all depends on the customer. I get people, they want, I need Simple Vic. I want my 2-year-old kid to play Pac-Man. Then I say Pandora Box all day.
Right.
Then the next step is just PC. That's
why I just use my 256 Batocera build on my cheap arcades. 256 drive these days are $22. The PC's $100. Throw it in there. Throw it in with the sticks. Build the arcade. Call it a day.
Yeah,
that's why my two-player. That's why my Batocera arcades are listed so cheaply on my website, because they don't need to be. They don't cost that much to build them.
Right.
They're like set and forget. If you're making a product, right? Like you said, this is a thing. I'm going to put this in the office of Meta, or this is the waiting room of my dentist office, or something. It's like, yeah, get something like Batocera, what like that. But if you're a hobbyist, or if you're looking to get into the hobby, or something where you're going to be actively not just adding games, but let's say there's new emulators that come out.
Yeah.
You're going to tweak with it. You're going to mess with it. Hey, look, I want to run the gun for IR GUI. Things like that. Yeah, then Windows.
HKs, a bunch of scripts that I like to write all day. Yeah.
I'm going to break something. I'm going to call the person I got it from and ask them if they can fix it, and then they're going to yell at me.
No, but I like using one PC to do everything, because with Batocera, I need 2. One to download stuff, and then I got to transfer to a drive. Then I got to go to there.
I have a place for dedicated.
I have a Batocera hard drive that I'll just switch my boot drive on my computer. I'll switch what the boot drive is, and then otherwise it just sits there like a dumb. Nothing sees it.
Yeah.
But it's not a huge. It's a very I've kind of fallen in love with more dedicated playlists. So my very first build was an Arcade 1-Up mod with RetroPie, and it's one of those ones you're browsing forever. That's my Dragon's Lair cabinet. But then when I made my Arcade 1-Up Star Wars mod, I was talking a lot with B. So B Kong had his Starcade, which was a lot. Whatever analog controls, he had racing games, he had shooter games. We were using the analog controller. I wanted Star Wars games, and it was this curated list of just Star Wars games I could play with the yoke. Maybe not well, but I could play with the yoke. I was playing like Atari games with the yoke and stuff. But it was curated, and I really like that. I like the curated list. It's almost like dedicated arcade, where it's like you're just playing Star Wars. My shooter cabinet, there's a lot of games I put in there to like, I'll try this out. But my go-to games are a very short list of go-to shooter games. So this Batocera drive that I'll sometimes boot to, somebody had made the I Love Everything Castlevania. And it's got, the custom, intro and the custom front end. Nice. But it's all the Castlevania games, but then also all the games that were like inspired by Castlevania. It's got like, Rusty, which was like this, I think it was like a Commodore 64 or Amiga game, but it's a total knockoff of Castlevania, but you're a bikini-clad anime chick.
Yes.
Yeah. But it's just all things Castlevania, including like the Nintendo DS games and, the Japanese versions and the TurboGrafx 16 CD, versions. And it's just like, I love this. And it's a little hard drive that sits like, next to my computer. Whenever I want to change the boot drive and get me some Castlevania on, it's great.
Right.
That's what I do on my my main rig that I'm on right now, streaming with you guys. All I got to do is I have my my drive dock, so I'll plug my drive dock into the PC and I'll just turn that on, and then I'll turn the PC on, and it automatically will boot the Batocera for me. So that's how I work on right, and I'm hooked into the internet right here by hardline by LAN, so I can just run that. I use that to build my Batocera drives until I have to stream and then move over to the mini PC. But I had to test this. I had to test out this B-Link anyways. I'm building a 2 terabyte. I'm working on that Wayback Arcade build fix.
Yep.
You know, the Wayback Arcade needs to go way back to the drawing board, basically, because half the games that they had on that they were using the LaunchBox build on the Windows side of the B-Link, and dude, this thing is only 2 gigahertz. So I went into the BIOS. I had to go into the BIOS menu to change to Legacy from UEFI and turn off the secure boot and all that other bullshit. And you know, when it pops up, you see your PC specs. This thing is only 2 gigahertz.
I think
And I'm like,
last time it was like $100 PC or something very low like that, right?
it's the $130 B-Link. It is the N95, but it must be like the 9th gen version, because I know the 12th gen version, which is what I purchased recently, is it's 3.3 gigahertz is what it says it is in the description. But if you look at the 10 and the 11, they're only 2 to 2.4. So you got to watch what you're purchasing over here.
Wow.
Yeah, and not all N95 are the same. That I know.
Right. But everything that this thing was running in the LaunchBox build that it was lagging on, and since I'm using Linux on this now, this thing's running like butter. I'm running GameCube and PlayStation 2. What you doing? Taking a selfie?
I'm taking a picture of my stream rig here.
Oh, it's saying what we're doing. Look at me, I'm on YouTube. I did my hair.
So the Wayback originally was LaunchBox, and then you're putting the Batocera on it.
Yeah. So I took their drive. I took their drive out. They had a 2 terabyte. It's advertised as a 2 terabyte build, and they do have a 2 terabyte hard drive in this PC.
The hard drive is 2 terabytes, but how many games are worth of drives?
It was only 800 gigs of games and media.
Only.
Yeah, so it was really a 1 terabyte build.
Well, it's even worse than that, because they had the entire MAME ROM set on there, all 30,000 games.
Oh, that's stupid.
That is it's so stupid. That was a 580 gigabyte folder. Yeah,
that's
580
just for fucking MAME ROMs?
Just for fucking MAME.
No,
so they're advertising it as a 2 terabyte build, and you get a 2 terabyte drive, but it's only filled up with 800 and something odd gigabytes of games on it, and 580 gigs of that 800 is MAME.
And mostly main games are not even in the playlist.
Oh,
right, because they're the CHDs of every dump.
1,000 mods.
I'm gonna look real quick at my MAME.
I didn't realize that the entire MAME ROM set was in there. Like, I realized how big the folder was, and I wasn't worried about it, because I took their games and I dumped it onto. It all fit on a 1 terabyte SSD, so I dumped it onto a 1 terabyte SSD so that I could transfer it over to Batocera back into the 2 terabyte, because you have to flash the drive. But I didn't realize there was 30,000 main games. 30,000 main games 30,000 main games until I loaded it into Batocera and I hit the update the games list, and it said I had 53,000 games. I was like, where the fuck did I get 50,000 games from?
So it scanned the entire ROM folder,
right?
the entire and it indexed the entire MAME set.
It did, yeah. So when I was going through, it came across MAME, and MAME said 30,000 games. I'm like, I was going to leave it, and then I started going through it, and it was like duplicate. I'm like, oh, no, I can't do this.
Yeah,
like,
so they use a split set. Every clone is there. So so for anyone who doesn't know, the actual MAME ROM set, right? If you download the clean one, currently, you actually get about 600 gigs of CHDs, the big hard drive dumps of those every single MAME game. But most of them, 90% of them, are unplayable. Like they have like too spicy DDR, like all those dumps.
Time Crisis 2.
Time
Crisis 2 is kind of playable now, but
actually no. Time Crisis 2 worked on Batocera, and then they also had a Virtual Cop 1 and 2 version in MAME. Virtual Cop 2 in MAME worked.
Yes. Mega Model 2. Yes, that does work now. But basically,
but it was under MAME.
I know.
MAME?
Yeah, MAME. So
MAME has Model 2 emulation working now.
MAME, MAME, the recent one, they did some major shit.
Whoa!
Yes. But but it's pure emulation, so there's no graphic upscaling or anything like that.
Brett scared me.
And that's fine, but you could do 2-player on Batocera with Virtual Cop 2 as opposed to 1-player on Model 2.
Model 2 can do 2-player.
No, Batocera. I'm talking Linux.
Oh, Batocera, yeah. No.
Like MAME now could play like MAME I think could play like NES, SNES. It's even got like the old school fucking like the Tiger Electronics.
You can actually play NES.
Yeah, I'm like, how the
one
fuck?
light gun.
Yeah,
one light gun worth on the NES.
Was it? I got the
like Duck Hunt.
Old made new Neil Henry. He made me that Coleco tabletop arcade mod that was Tron.
Yeah.
And in there, it's a Raspberry Pi 3. But in there's an emulator that emulates the other Coleco tabletops. So like the Donkey Kong and the Pac-Man, but it's emulating the vacuum fluorescent. Don 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 don. Like, why would I choose to do this? Meanwhile, I'm still actually playing it, and I'm like, why am I doing this?
This is fun.
This is amazing.
Yeah, so like actually, virtual skee ball. It almost feels like I'm playing virtual skee ball.
Right. Yeah. So that way back arcade, that 2 terabyte advertisement, they're just using a 2 terabyte drive that's only filled with 800 gigs of games. There was so much lag when I was going through LaunchBox. I'm like, why am I getting this lag? And then I realized I was just going through LaunchBox on the LaunchBox side. I wasn't even going through Big Box. When I went to Big Box, there was just even more lag.
Wow.
And I couldn't believe it. Like, just even going through the menu, like every time I hit the stick, there was at least a 5-second delay. I had to wait. It sucked. No wonders the dude he wasn't mad, but he was disappointed. And no wonders he wanted somebody to fix it.
Oh, he's like my dad. He's not mad. He's just disappointed.
Oh, he was so disappointed. Well, he was.
Well, it's also I don't know how much he paid for it, but that's what sucks.
They advertise it that you can plug and play light guns into it, and he couldn't plug and play his light gun.
No, you cannot.
No, he cannot. So he was on the phone with customer service, and he said their customer service is fantastic, which is good. He had no complaint about their customer service, period. But they were trying to explain to him on how to set the guns up under the MAME emulator, but there's no MAME emulator. It's RetroArch.
Oh.
Yeah, they're not even using standalone MAME. They're using RetroArch for the entire build. And I was reading their description, and it actually says that it's a RetroArch-based system. But it doesn't say that everything is running under RetroArch. Like, why would you build a Windows build and not use MAME directly and use it under RetroArch? Like, that doesn't make any sense.
Right.
So that's
probably
explained
for controller purposes.
Because probably. I told them though, before he even sent it to me, I was like, dude, I can at least get your guns working on MAME. I'm like, I don't know what else it's got going on there, but I can at least get it working on MAME for you. And when I got it and I realized MAME was under RetroArch, I'm like, this sucks.
Yeah, I was gonna say when you said that now, where you're like, oh shit, I actually can't get this to work right now.
Yeah, I called them. And because I was going through the system and I was fucking laughing at it, and I was actually getting kind of annoyed because I seen how much he paid for it. So I called him and I'm like, dude, I'm going through this. I'm like, I wasn't even going to do anything for it. Or I told him, that's not what I told him. What did I tell him I was going to do? I told him I was going to put my 2 terabyte drive inside it and then set the whole thing up, and I was going to rewire it with an iPack because it's using the EG starts encoders and shit. And I'm like, I quoted him like $600 to do that for him, right? That's wiring it up, adding in my drive, getting everything possibly that can work, and it'll be the smooth integration.
It'll really be plug and play.
And then I'm like, you know what? And then it'll really be plug and play, yeah. Then I'm like, you know what? I'm like, why don't I'm like, dude, instead of doing all that, I'm like, I could save this dude a ton of money and just build the Batocera drive on 2 terabytes. I was meaning to do that in the first place. So I'm sitting here doing that. But you don't
even have to change the encoders, right?
Don't have to do any of that. All I do is just changing the drive. That's it. So I'm just rebuilding a drive under 2 terabytes, and I'm going to end up marketing this. I'm going to market this. I found where they're getting their decks from, and they're selling the decks on Amazon.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're $60 on Amazon.
Yeah, he sent us the link.
Yeah,
do it.
They're $60
but does it
on
have
Amazon.
A nice cutout for the PC?
This exact deck. Hang on, I can't move it. This exact deck. I don't know.
No, Ray remembers. Remember
yeah.
Ray?
I meant on Amazon. Do they have the one with a nice cutout though?
Yeah, it's got the whole cutout. This is the one that lifts up. The base is actually a metal base.
No, I think he means like the USB ports in the rear.
Yeah.
Or was that hand cut? Was that Dremel cut?
That was
Brad.
Brad's gonna go play Star Wars.
I can still hear you.
We lost your audio, Brad.
No, I got it.
No, you can still hear him.
I can still hear you.
We can hear you. His mic is low.
It's what do you call it? The cutout in the back of it. It's already there because this is made for a Pandora's box.
Right.
And the
But that one was
cutout,
custom, I think, for that B-Link, right?
it was not. No, I thought it was at first,
Right.
but when I finally found the description and I found the actual spot to buy the decks from, it was cut out that it was pre-cut out that way. So they're ordering those decks that way, which is not what I'm doing.
$60, right? Not bad.
Yeah, for $60 for the deck, and then I'm throwing in the PC, and then I'm throwing in the 2 terabyte. I have to add the 2 terabyte drive. I'm throwing in the 2 terabyte drive, and then I'm throwing in the arcade sticks too, and I'm making sure that the arcade sticks are good. And yeah, I'm going to throw that up on my website for $800.
Did they at least give him?
They're selling it for the same, or I think they're selling it for $9.
Yeah.
So I'm going to undercut them, and I'm going to do it better, and I'm going to make a video about this of what.
Yeah, I would fucking rank on it. I would shit on it all day,
dude. Well, hang on. When I removed that main, so I removed that main folder because I was like, I'm not going through those games, so I deleted that and I grabbed my Batocera drive, plugged it in, and I pulled the ROMs from it and I threw it into this build, knowing that those ROMs work. What you doing, Brad? So I threw it into this build, and dude, that went from 800 gigs to like, I don't know, it was like 270.
Yeah.
It was like there was like nothing there. I'm like, oh my god, I have so much room to put whatever I can put on this now. So
right.
Obviously I'm putting in a Thomas Wave, I'm putting in Model 2, Model 3, I'm putting in those that are going to work with the arcade sticks, and I'm like, let's see if the GameCube will work on this, and I'll explain to him how to use a controller with it.
Right.
GameCube works. Well, I'm on Linux now. I'm not on the Windows side, so using Linux, the GameCube games work. And I tried Time Crisis 2 because I know how demanding that game can be. Time Crisis 2 played perfectly smooth. So
are they using PS2 for Time Crisis 2?
PC SX2, yes.
Okay.
So as long as Time Crisis 2 plays perfectly smooth, that will mean I'd say 75% of the PlayStation 2 library will play good. Not enough for me to go through and pick and pluck and choose out of there. The customer.
Nah, yeah. And how many? Do you have the complete ROM set of PS2 on it now?
Almost. I'm going to see how much I'm putting the entire GameCube library on here right now.
Okay.
So GameCube is transferring over, and that's like 867 GameCube games that's transferring into it right now. That is only 241 gigabytes, and it says I have 1.1 terabytes of free space left.
Did they at least give him an SSD, or did they rip him off and give him a spinning 2 terabyte?
They gave him an actual SSD.
Right.
Yeah, there's an SSD inside there.
Yeah, it's a small form. It's got to be an SSD. So
yeah, there's an SSD caddy. When you open it up, right on the bottom is an SSD caddy for it, and then there's an NV M.2 that runs the C drive, so you can expand the drive into a 2 terabyte drive if you wanted to. I'm still debating on whether or not I'm going to do an M.2 2 terabyte, or if I'm just going to do the straight 2 terabyte SSD.
The M.2 would be a better deal. I think if you use M.2, it will save you money, actually, and it'll be faster.
How will that save money? Aren't they the more expensive option? They have higher performance, but
they are more expensive.
It's 2 terabyte plus you need to. Oh well, it comes with an internal NVMe. What am I?
Sorry. But I wouldn't be using that because whatever drive I use is the Batocera drive. So because Batocera is the operating system, and you can't put in an expansion drive on that.
Vic, your camera died again.
I know.
I think he turned his lights off.
Vix's lights out.
Yeah, right.
There it is.
So
also, I looked at they're pricing it at $600. Actually, it's $800 with a $200 coupon. I hate when people do that.
Right now, there's a coupon there, but there wasn't a coupon before.
Ah.
Yeah. So I mean, when Amir bought it, he definitely didn't pay $600, but it's plus shipping. So you're still going to be over $700.
Oh, that's bullshit.
I'm including shipping in mine.
Yeah, I always
$800. It'll be $800 on sale. When I'm done with my sales, it'll be $900, but shipping's included. 2 terabyte drive, actually loaded up.
Yeah, it'll actually work.
Yeah, it'll actually work too. And your light guns will be plug and play with send-in retro shooters, gun for IR, aim track guns. No setup needed at all. Just plug in your light guns and go for the 13 people that are still watching. I know, right?
It's summer.
Make it, rank it. That's it.
I got no update on the page debacle yet. I was actually on, I think I told the guys this already, but I was actually on with a representative from Facebook on the phone through their customer service that they have. And I had to get through I had to get through a live chat through their Meta ads app for the help for your Meta business account. So I got to a person, and he offered to jump on the phone with me, and I was like, "Fuck yeah!" I've been trying to do something like that for a year now. He got on the phone, and he was trying to take me in the same circles that I've been going through, and I'm like, "Here, I'll show you." He ended up calling me, and then he sent me a link. So like where we went live, and then I did a share screen, and I shared my screen, and I showed him what happened when I got to the part where I get stuck at, which is select your page for the help.
Right.
There's no pages linked.
Yeah,
because they unlinked it, right? So he's
Right.
like, "Oh, you can't even do that." I'm like, "Bro, I never had the option." I'm like, and this is where I've been trying to get to somebody for like a year now, and you guys, you yourself, him too. I'm like, you just took me in the same circle, and you almost left me through that debacle until we came live, and then we did a share screen, which I didn't know we had an option for that. So he ended up, what he said was, he said he put me on hold, and that he went and talked to the security hacking team personally to give him an explanation of what was going on, to give me some further help. And he said that they got into my page, and there are 6 hackers attached to my page right now, and each individually. And in order for them to remove them individually, they have to go through the whole Facebook confirmation process and shit. I guess it's a bunch of loopholes they got to go through. I'm like, I didn't really care. Or it sounded more like to me that like that's how they do their job to me, honestly. But he was like, it's going to be a 50-50 chance if you get your page back. Keep focusing on the page you have now. So, and I was supposed to get an email when they figure something out for it, and I haven't gotten an email yet. So,
and you said they couldn't delete the page though.
They can delete the page. I didn't want them to delete the page.
Okay.
Because there's like 47 reviews on that page. I
Oh,
don't want to lose it. That's the only thing that's holding me back from telling them to, and just giving up on it, is because I have those specific reviews. And I worked for those, man. Those were my first reviews I ever got. So worst case scenario, if they can't get me into the page, I just tell them delete the page then, because it's confusing the shit out of people. I'm still getting emails of people messaging that page saying, I've been messaging you for weeks or days.
Yeah, you probably now have to probably have to. And what is it exactly?
Damage control.
Are they able to? So customers are able to message the page directly.
Yeah, you can message the Facebook page.
Yeah,
but it's like a PM, like a personal message, or like
DM,
a post.
Yeah, like a DM.
And they could use that to scam customers out of money. They could say, "Oh, what's the arcades?" and then send us money.
But they're not responding to anybody. Thank God. Imagine if they were. Oh my God, it'd be way worse.
They hacked this page and then they forgot about it.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
Yeah,
that's exactly what happened.
I actually looked it up after after you told us about that, and apparently this is such a big problem with people getting hacked that most people have taken to going to small claims court and suing Meta about it, right? Because it's easy to file that paperwork, and then Meta will either respond, and then they'll just pay you out for damages, or they'll just not respond and they'll automatically lose the case. Wow. And then it was so bad that a lot of the district attorneys were like, "Yeah, we're not going to be your customer service for Facebook. Like that's stupid." Right. But it has to be that extreme.
They made it easier to go through the courts than to go through
through the fucking customer service.
Well, that's what happens when Meta is basically a service for like 1 billion people and it's free.
Right.
So you can't call customer support.
Yeah.
So what's cool is this. Wrong one. Sorry. Was this one?
Oh, that's who?
When he says maybe there's a back end to reroute communications through my current one somehow, can't do that. But if I do get the page back, I can merge my current page and my old page together.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so that's cool. So I can completely merge that into one, so I don't have to shut down one and lose everything that I did and go back to the old one when that happens.
Cool.
But yeah,
as long as you can't get hacked from that, you know what I mean?
Right. I mean, they don't understand how they removed it from my page. Like they removed my email, they removed the phone number. They couldn't figure out how they did that from the page itself. And
that's easy. It's just
locked me out.
The hackers know more than the Meta support team.
than the creators.
Which is kind of
you might
crazy,
as well take
right?
one day, dude, and screenshot all the reviews and then just put it on your website.
Yeah. I mean,
that's that would be honestly the first thing I would do. Like just screenshot every review.
You can start with Simbo's review here. It looks like he fucking loves you guys.
Oh, thanks, Simbo. Yeah. Thank you.
most upfront and hang up, put that back. Most upfront and honest hombres in this space.
Hombres, I like
that's
that.
the first time we've ever been called that, dude. That's fucking awesome.
Thank
I
you.
love
From
that.
Texas.
Whatever, man. Hey, thank you for being a fan, and just thank you for that, man, dude. I love that. Look at Big smile too. Big's like, oh yeah. Big's like, my man.
If I were you, man, I would just I meet. Now the other thing though is that you just posted something on another like Facebook group where you wrote that like, is that the Facebook group?
That was me.
Yeah, no, but is that like, because I got confused. I was like, isn't that your main group?
Yeah, I paused the group 3 months ago, and I was gonna go. In order to remove a group from Facebook, you have to individually remove the members.
Really?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, you wrote that, but then I was confused though. So that was on the.
That was the group.
That's the group though. Isn't the group that you got hacked in?
No. The page,
got hacked. Group is fine.
Yeah.
How many groups do you have? You have only one group or two groups?
I got one group and 2 pages right now.
And one group, 2 pages.
One group, 2 pages. One page is hacked. I can't do anything with, so I only have access to one. I made the group. In turn of getting hacked. So I got hacked. I needed a solution. I didn't want to give up on getting the page back. I didn't want to make a new page yet. So I made the Facebook group.
Got it.
Where customers are going there. And it picked up, but it never really picked up. Customers weren't really figuring out to go into the group. And, there's 2,000 people that followed me on my original page. And I was posting the group in there and nobody was gravitating towards it. So that's why I ended up making a new Facebook page. One of them, the biggest reason is communication.
Right.
I lost so much communication by losing that business page. So much communication through DM that I'm like, I need that communication back from my customers.
Right.
And that's also where I got the business phone from too. And I actually took the cell phone and put it into a real cell phone, taking it off the Google Voice.
So now again, the group
communication.
The group page though, nobody could DM you.
No.
Got it.
No, you'd have to DM me personally.
Got
I don't think that you can. You'd have to DM me personally, and I believe I have that option blocked.
Oh, got it.
Like I think I did that a long time ago. This dude's from Tasmania.
Oh
wow!
But okay, cool.
Wow,
don't see
that's
that
awesome. Isn't it crazy? I always get my mind boggled. My mind is always blown when it's like I feel like it's because of YouTube. Right. That like you just hit like a global fucking scale, like just from fucking YouTube. I blows my mind.
I was thinking about opening up orders to send to Australia again. Certain things to send out. Doing the
taxes. It's a problem.
Oh no, I got no issues with it. The taxes and the duties. That's on their end when it gets.
I know.
Duty.
Yeah, we don't pay any of that. That happens when it gets to their country. That's what it does. But I don't know. I was thinking about opening that back up. The problem is that I can't do customer service.
Right.
No,
time zone difference too.
A huge time zone difference. There were certain customers that were staying up until like 3 a.m. Just to log in with me at like 11 o'clock at night. And there's no way to do customer service internationally. Canada is a little different.
Yeah.
Because it's literally like I can throw a rock at it.
And Canada shouldn't count as international. So
I don't think it does. I don't consider Canada international at all, man.
I allow Canadian shipping sometimes for my products. Sometimes
I do Canadian shipping all the time. It's just an extra $30, and it's no big deal.
Oh, but I was gonna say before we leave the subject on the Facebook, right? You should get one of these. This security NFC UB key, very important now. So now, if you get kicked out or like someone tries to hack you, they need this physical key to touch your device or plug into your device to get in.
Really?
So no face. No, you can. If they hack my phone number, right, then they can get my 2FA, my two-factor authentication. But if they can't get it without this physical thing in my hand,
is that something you can also get for your like Gmail, your Google account, your YouTube account?
All your accounts can be secured. It's a two-factor authentication. Right, but it's an option. You can disable everything. You say, "Oh, I don't want text message. I don't want phone call. I don't want email. But I want only to have this." And then you just keep it on. They give you 2 in the pack, and you keep it on a keychain.
Physical security. Hey, I love physical media. Let's get
gone to this point where it has to be this level of security now.
Make physical security great again.
I mean, if they get into your Gmail, that can count as 2FA for some of your other stuff. That gets very dangerous very quickly.
Man, that was good. That was good. Eric, can you see this? Can you guys see? Let's go look.
Oh, hey guys. So we were crew watching the channel here. Me and the Musketeers here. We chat constantly, like throughout the week. And earlier we were talking. Yeah, we were talking about some stuff that were found on Facebook Marketplace in the way of like real arcade games. Let me do a screen share on this. We had here we go, screen share. So there was this Aliens Extermination arcade for sale in Maryland. It's for $2,500, and is the flat screen version. There was a CRT version of the same game, but with analog pedestal guns, like the game doesn't care what your display is. But this was the flat screen version. And this guy was selling for $2,500. Now he says in the description that it works. It runs on a PC. He's specifically saying that because the original PC is not in it. So I'm thinking he's running the standalone or maybe even the TeknoParrot version. Point is, he replaced the internals. It's not the stock internals, but it's still playing the game. $2,500. Guns working. Everything else is working. But he does say there's a crack in the marquee, which is in this picture here. Kind of hard to see. But it's right there. So $2,500. Okay. But, this is a warm spot, warms the cockles because, Aliens Extermination and the dual guns and everything. But also a couple of days earlier, we saw this Fear Frightland that was.
Fear Frightland.
Now I got to screen share that one separately, even though it's the exact same window, but I've got to share that one separately. Here we go. All right. Here we go. All right. Fear Frightland. It is the exact same cabinet. It is this was reskinned as Fear Frightland as a Haunted Museum. Haunted Museum.
What throws me off about this cabinet is that target force.
Right, like right there. Right. It's if you look right there in the middle, it says target force, and like where the speaker grill is. But that's what Fear Frightland looked like. It looked like that. But point is that it says completely working, like no crack marquee, everything's. Oh, sorry, no, not completely working. He did point out here in the description, one of the guns is player one.
Need to fix one gun.
One potentiometer. It sounds like one wires come off one of the potentiometers on one of the guns. But he sold it. It's sold $600.
$600 is a steal.
That's a great.
$600, and then Aliens Extermination, the exact same hardware. And I'm pointing out the Aliens Extermination cabinet. He put a PC in it, running his own emulated version of Aliens Extermination. So the graphics, that was the only difference then, because either one could get the emulated version of Aliens in it. But $600 versus $2,500, and the only difference are the graphics on it. So
and the crack marquee can be replaced on
right, and it is funny. Right. So the Musketeers, we're you guys are up in New York, different parts of New York, and I'm down here in Maryland. But the Aliens is an hour away from me here in Maryland, and the Fear Frightland was an hour away from Vic over on Long Island. Yeah. But it's crazy that some of the stuff that just gets for sale and the price differences, with some of these real arcades. Sometimes it's a steal. Just come, please, someone get this out of my basement. Other times it's like, I know what I got, no low balls.
Yep.
So
it's
I'm
just
not
very
100% sure that haunted museum was authentic though, because actually
no, it's not. It was redone.
I think the guns aren't even authentic. I think they're the clone ones, because the original gun in the U.S. is actually a very dark navy blue. I had it. Remember, I had the original one that I modded, but the ones that are made in China are black.
The original Aliens Extermination, which came before for all those the Far Cry and the Fear Frightland, they were all skins that they used the same hardware on. But the first game that came out was Aliens, of course, because they're pulse rifle. Right. And the Aliens games were always black. The guns were always black.
Really?
Yeah, there was never a colored one. When you saw the candy colored ones, the cotton candy, the pink and blues, those came later. So all the colored ones came later. The pink and blue or the red and blue, but all those colored ones came later with the other, usually with Fear Frightland. I get what you're saying. The Fear Frightlands normally had the red and blue guns, but black guns go all the way back to original.
I don't mean red and blue. I mean, there was a very dark navy, because that's what U.S. required. They would not allow black guns in the U.S., remember? Unless they were Japan imports. So they made a version for the U.S. that was very dark navy, and both guns are dark navy. Not like Frightland. in Aliens, Fear Frightland, whatever. Because I bought one from eBay of a guy that ripped it off a brand, like, well, not brand new, but a used.
I don't know. I've never seen an Alien for Frightland. I've seen lots of colors, but for Aliens, I've never seen a non-black. And also, my gun cart was, I didn't do the AliExpress guns. It was new old stock Aliens guns, and they're black. They're black.
Yeah, you know, I think you're right. I think they do have a black one on Betson. The shell is available, by the way. If anyone wants to reshell an ugly looking scratched gun, you can get brand new shells for $34.12.
That's not bad, especially because your gun for IR mods, you basically just kind of pull all the guts out of them and put in gun for IR stuff. It's but I will say
it's not an easy mod though. You got to drill.
No, but that Fear Frightland, it did have. I will say this: it did have the numerical counters on the back, where the 3-in-1 kits with the cheap guns, that LED counter is just non-functional. It's on those.
Yeah.
So
it's not even a real fucking.
It's
counter.
not real.
It's a placeholder.
Oh, and I was recently at a round 1 bowling and amusements, like the cheesy, like cheap arcade. There's one in Baltimore, but they had an Aliens Extermination, and the guns. I think I did like a fucking YouTube short on it, but the guns felt super lightweight, like they were just hollow plastic, and I was like. The LED counters weren't working on them, and I was like, "Oh my god, there's no recoil solenoid in this either because it's so light." But then I put in a credit, I pulled it, and there was recoil, but it wasn't the 24-volt solenoid. It was a little clackety clack. It felt like a little
motor,
little ratcheting motor wheel, and I was like, "What the what? That's a travesty." But I didn't even honestly. It was more travesty, but also like I didn't even know you could do that. So.
If you cut the wires, it'll send 24 volt to anything at a pulse.
24-volt plastic wheel.
Remember that the Terminator 2 guns for Arcade 1-Up? It was just a piece of plastic circling a screw.
Exactly. Yeah. It reminds me, just taking a card and putting it in the spokes of your bicycle. So,
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, actually, no. They could have tapped the 12 volt or 5 volt from the power supply.
Yes,
they could have tapped LEDs.
Maybe Arcade 1-Up made these versions of the Aliens guns. Yes, right? Exactly.
To answer real quick, way too fast. My morning breakfast is it's an egg and a cheese sandwich, and I do put ketchup on that.
Gross.
But I don't do like straight egg, like scrambled eggs with ketchup. That's weird. But in a sandwich form, I'll put ketchup on it.
I've done that. If I have really dry scrambled eggs, I will put ketchup. I put that shit on everything, yo.
Yeah, I don't think it's a Long Island thing.
Like egg and ham sandwich and egg and sausage sandwiches. Tastes great.
Hot sauce. If my eggs are dry, I'm using hot sauce.
I can't. Joel's big on his hot sauce.
That's the problem with Retro Lizard. His eggs are always dry.
Yeah.
But honestly, luckily, I was able to score that cab for free. But I would honestly just never look into buying that type of cab.
Crazy that a person just gave that away.
Yeah, Ray was there to witness it.
It was heavy though. That was a big cab. So selling that is not easy.
Dude, I didn't tell you guys this. You remember when I picked up that Afterburner last year?
Yeah.
Well, I ended up giving it away to my buddy that owns an arcade. And he put it in his garage. It just needed a monitor. And I'm like, you gotta call that arcade guy. There's another arcade guy locally around here that does like CRT repairs and shit. I'm like, call that dude. I'm like, he'll fix the monitor for you. Maybe it'll cost you like $200-$300. Nothing crazy, right? A week ago, I'm flipping through Marketplace and I see it for sale. Right, but it's not him selling it. So I took a screenshot and I sent it over to him. I'm like, hey man, I'm like, are you selling that Afterburner? I'm like, because if you are, I'll just take it back. I'm like, no big deal. Like, I'll figure out room. I don't care. The thing was heavy. And he's like, no, dude. He's like, this is going to blow your mind. He's like, no, dude. I put it out for my trash and somebody drove by and picked it up. And now it's on Marketplace for $600.
Oh my God.
I'm like, was it working though on Marketplace? Like, is it showing as functioning or is that?
Yeah, it's the exact description that it just turns on and plays, but there's no monitor. It needs a new monitor. Otherwise plays normally. And I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, you put it out to your trash?
That's the first thing I
you
was
should have
thinking.
taken it.
Yeah, like you put it out to your trash?
If I was driving down the street and I saw an Afterburner in the trash, I don't care if it was like full of like spiders. I'm like, that's going home with me.
Right. Yeah. Right. But I was just
like, why didn't he call you back and give it back to you?
I don't know. Honestly, that's what I said. I was like, bro, I would have took it back. And he was like, oh yeah, I didn't even think of asking. I'm like, I don't know. But he didn't put it out, or he didn't tell me, and I'm like, God damn it!
That's just it's sad that Afterburner lasted for as many years as it did, and then it was like literally just up. It's trash now.
No,
Yeah.
I put it to it came to me, and now I put it to its demise. It's all my fault.
Yeah,
it's all
thanks,
my fault.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't think it's your fault. I wouldn't think that.
It is. I gave it away to somebody, and then that person put it out to the trash.
It's more like, you know what's crazy? So it's like I said, I still have to send pictures to Brad because I have that Mega Touch that I scored, and you know, like Joel said, fixing a CRT it's like $300, but I won't be able to sell that Mega Touch for $300. So I'm like,
right.
Then people will be upset though if you took that Afterburner and put like an LCD in it. You fucking destroyed it.
Yeah.
So it's like, now what? Like, you know, like.
That was actually my plan. I was going to. I don't care about the CRT. Depending on the arcade, I take that back. Depending on the arcade, I don't care about the CRT. Afterburner, the CRT was dead. So I'm like, the easiest way to do this, as opposed to taking it to get recapped or me trying to recap it myself, God only knows what's wrong with it, put a new monitor in it. So I was either going to go with a Unico, or I was going to go with just a regular LCD and then create a bezel. I was going to go the Unico route, though, but the Unico route's $300. It's actually it's $350 plus tax. So it comes out to $400.
That's a 19 screen, though, isn't it? 19 screen?
That Afterburner screen was huge.
No, that was a 25-inch?
That was a 25-inch Afterburner screen. It was
Holy
huge.
moly.
Yeah, that's where all the weight is.
It didn't like it, but it was big. I measured it from corner to corner.
Wow.
Because I needed to know, I wanted to know how big the CRT was, but then I also did the full-on measurement with it because I needed to know what size.
I didn't put it in perspective. I guess the screen looks smaller because of all the bezels and the lighting,
like the armor around
top of it. It messes with your perspective because you know, like I've got a 19 in Xenophobe and I've got a 19 in Atari Star Wars.
Yeah, it was bigger.
And those are, you know, like easy to deal with. But like the 25s on Street Fighter and my Smash TV, the 25s are no effing joke, man. They are like more than double the weight.
Dude, that arcade was heavy. It was top heavy. The whole thing was top heavy. It was. I'm sure the mechanical eyes fucking force feedback inside. It was probably some weight
chain drive or whatever.
Yeah, right. But that thing was heavy as hell. So yeah, no, it was. I wish I would have able to get that back though. Now at this point, especially with the trilogy in the garage, like, oh man.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, but you're right. There are some games that I don't care about having CRTs in. Like I have, you know, I was playing around. Xenophobe was my first real arcade, and it's got a CRT in it. And I
tinkered a CRT for that.
I wanted a CRT for that. I also did a new chassis board in that. I was learning with that. But I told myself that I've messed with that CRT enough that if this one does go, I already have a 4x3 LCD replacement ready for it.
Nice.
And it's ready to go. It's like ready, drop in.
Yeah, dude, they're heavy and they're fucking pain. I would say it's a pain in the ass to work with those CRTs.
A buddy of mine did an LCD swap in a San Francisco Rush, and I don't care. I don't care if somebody did a Cruisin' and put like a Unico in it. I think 19 K Fox put a Unico in his Cruisin'.
He did,
and it was like fantastic, you know. And yet, I was super excited when I got a Street Fighter 2 with a 25-inch CRT, and I got the Pandora's box that supports that 15 kilohertz out for CRT. Like, I really like Street Fighter on a CRT, but I don't care if Cruisin's on an LCD. I don't.
You see, the fighting games, those kind of games, those wouldn't I don't give a shit about those on a CRT. Double Dragon, things like that. I don't care about that on a CRT. Certain games, Trilogy, I have the original CRT in that Trilogy. I do not want that to ever go bad. So I want that to stay as original as I possibly can keep it. That's
super fun to hear because the Trilogy over here was originally a projection screen. This one, when I got it, was already an LCD. So I've got an LCD in it, and I'm like, oh, it's great. But you're like have an opposite experience. You have the stand-up version, and you're in love with the CRT on it. And I'm it's really it's another great way to distinguish the stand-up from the sit-down is the CRT versus the. I can't imagine. I think I've seen one deluxe that still has a projection screen, but everything else has gone flat, and nobody cares. When everyone went from a projection to a flat, no one cares because. But you go from a CRT to an LCD. I think there's a bigger jolt to the system there. So,
and just that a cabinet having everything original inside it still. I just want, I want to keep that.
Except for the POTS amplifier board or whatever. It was never
going to go anyways. And except for the T molding that's fucking nailed in. And I can't believe they nailed in the T mode.
Yeah,
And then the bottom of the cabinet that's painted black, which I'll end up painting white. I bought the paint for it. But yeah, otherwise, did I tell you guys I got the subwoofer?
Oh
No.
yeah.
I got it in. Yeah, I didn't hook it up yet, but I got it in. It's only like, it's not even the size of my keyboard. Like,
So I'm wondering
how tall it is.
I'm wondering if the stand-up, like you said, the stand-up had the pot for adjusting the sub, right?
Yes.
Okay, so does that mean the stand-up always had the sub and yours was just missing it? Or
It came with the sub when you got the seat for it. They came together.
Oh, because the sub went in the seat.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. How that went in the seat, I don't know, but it went in the seat.
Right.
Actually,
Now
I got the book outside.
Until you showed us the book. Joel's stand-up Star Wars trilogy had like the instructions book, like the manual and everything in it.
Yeah.
And including it showed the optional seat for the stand-up version. For the stand-up, there was a seat option. I never saw. I guarantee you there isn't a single arcade in North America that got the seat for the stand-up Star Wars trilogy.
No. I don't ever remember that one having an actual seat like that, unless it was the big boy. Yeah.
Yeah, and the big boy puts its subwoofer in the seat as well. So yeah.
And the subwoofer is fucking nice. I can't wait. So I'm going to have that inside the cabinet on pressed up against the wall. So I can't wait to feel that bass coming off that and what it's going to sound like too.
That's the original, right?
What's
that's the original subwoofer replacement part, right?
I did, yeah. I found it through Yanton Arcade in China,
Japan.
So or whichever. No, I think it was China.
Yanton is.
But either way, he sent it to me. It took like a month to get it, but he still sent it. He gets a. I was reading reviews because I wasn't sure if it was legit or not. Because like everything I was looking up for that had a Japanese part, I was looking up the Naomi power supply, and he came up. And then I just typed in Star Wars Trilogy subwoofer, and he came up, and I was like, "Is this guy legit, or is this like fake shit?"
Oh, I know this guy. I ordered from him before. Yeah, he's from Japan.
Yeah. Okay.
Japan.
So
but when he starts hitting everything you want, you start to get suspicious.
Right.
Yeah.
So I was actually reading his reviews, and his reviews said that he was legit. He just doesn't care about his orders, and he ships whenever he feels like shipping, basically.
Oh.
And that's true.
No, he's a real dude. He's a real jerk, but he's a real dude.
So I ordered 2 Naomi power supplies. I ordered one from him, and then I found a legit one on eBay. The one on eBay was more by like $30, but I'm like, what if this guy isn't legit, right? So, or what if I never get it either? So I ordered both of them, and I got the eBay one like 2 weeks before the Naomi power supply came in from Yanton. And I'm like, okay, I got it. He's legit. I went on right away, and I ordered the subwoofer, and I just got it like a week ago.
Yeah, he's a salvager. He sells used parts. He doesn't sell anything new, really. He takes about like broken arcades in Japan and strips them down for whatever parts sellable.
I found a Trilogy stand-up arcade stick, control stick.
From him?
And no, it's in the United.
You sent me the link for that. But you tried to send me the link. I went to it, and it was the page. It was a weird checkout page.
Yeah. So I emailed them because it says when you go to check out, they don't ship to America. And dude, he's like the only person on the internet with that stick. And if I at least want it for the spring, for a replacement spring on it, and maybe to see if my stick plays better than his. But either way, they said they didn't ship, so I emailed them to see if they would make an exception, and obviously I would pay for the shipping. I don't care what the price is on that. Just give me that fucking stick.
Yeah.
All right? We need replacement parts.
And what are they going to ship it, or?
Oh, that was Friday, so I haven't heard anything back yet.
Well,
so
keep us posted because, inquiring minds want to know.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, he has some rare ass parts. I'm looking at his website right now.
Yeah, I mean, he's legit though. If you guys ever need the arcade stuff that's used for your parts, like that's it.
Just a heads up though. This guy doesn't clean or anything. So what you get is what you see. Yeah. So you know, no guarantees that
it's literally just pulled
condition. It's literally just pulled. Yeah.
Yeah. Brad, what power supply are you running in your Trilogy? Do you know?
Oh no, it's the original.
It's the original.
So, yeah, it's actually the lowest shelf under what was the projection screen on the TV portion. It looks like it's a very large shelf. It's all power supply. So that's power delivery to what even was the projection screen TV. Also has got power from that power supply. So there was there's a lot of components in there that are still unused, but because it's all one giant shared power supply, I just left it as is. So
makes sense.
Yeah, that powers the audio, the Model 3 board, but like I said, it also powered the projector.
It's probably a big power supply, right?
Well, it's all exposed components
okay.
nailed to a board. So you have your giant caps and isolation transformers, and it's all on a big shelf.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah, so it's not an enclosed power supply.
That makes sense. I was curious if we had the same power supply or not. No, not by any means.
No, because again, you didn't have the rear projection set up. So yeah. They figured like they would just kind of, I think it was like a consolidation rather than get like an off-the-shelf rear projection TV with a separate power supply. They just had one and done that powered everything. So
but you're running VGA to HDMI, right?
Yeah. Well, I'm running VGA, which is Model 3 out. It does VGA. I'm doing VGA to a display to a VGA adapter board that really is just giving me a little bit of upscaling. Then that goes into a display port conversion, which then goes into the screen.
Nice. Wow. Nice. Gotta love that VGA output built into the board, though.
Yeah. I did a comparison actually when it was straight VGA to the monitor versus using that cheap little converter board, and I was shocked at how well it actually cleaned up some of the stutter. But more importantly, it gave me the blacks went from gray to actually black.
Nice.
So it was really nice. So it was like it's a really cheap board. A lot of people use them to do original CRT to LCD conversions.
Right.
Super cheap. And it offers like really limited upscaling. You might get like 720p out of a 240 or 480 or something. But yeah, I was just shocked at how much it cleaned up the image. So if $30 on Amazon, it didn't hurt.
No,
but when you look in there, because of that extra step, all these converters, it looks kind of like a spaghetti mess in there.
It's like you Frankensteined it.
Yeah. But there's no longer a rear projection in there, so there's plenty of room.
Oh, there's got to be, right? They probably released a lot of weight on the cabinet, too.
Yeah.
I need to figure out a way how to get my trilogy in the house. I don't know how I'm going to get it through the door. I want to get it into the house and get it into the basement. I really want it in the basement. I just want it on the garage.
Is it going to fit? Would you?
I don't think so. I got to measure the front. I measured the side.
The stand-up trilogy is a chunky boy.
It's a chunky boy, but when I measured the side only said it was 28 inches.
Oh, okay.
But I'm not including the control deck.
Does that disconnect? Can you disconnect it in any way?
No, it's complete. Well, I have to take the thing out, and I can disconnect it. Yeah, but it's a pain in the ass. This guy.
If it's heavy, you got to get one of those escaleras.
No, it's actually only. Well, I mean, the cabinet itself is heavy as fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would need a dolly to take it down into the basement and hope I don't bust open the stairs.
Yeah, no.
That one bang and you go through.
Yeah.
Like what? I do the complete renovation and put in one of those elevator lifts like they have at New York restaurants that opens up to the sidewalk. The sidewalk opens and a lift comes up. It's like, do that for your arcades into your basement.
Oh man, that would be fucking cool if I could.
I'll be honest. I told you guys about that V pin. The guy he's it's cool because we're now like in this like Long Island pinball group thing, and it's cool that the community helps each other. So this guy was able to get an escalera off of somebody, and that's the one that could go down the steps. Like it's like motorized.
Yeah, it like walks down the steps.
Yeah, dude. I honestly went to go help this guy because I wanted to see the escalera because I was like, I want to see like. And it's advertised like, oh, it'll do all the work. Fuck no, that shit is still fucking heavy. And not to mention, like, if you miss, it's like these two big like black circles that will literally like it goes over the step or like down the step. It's like
slinky.
It's cool, but I'm like, yo, I'm still worried. And I actually had it like it like missed the step. So at one quick second, my heart dropped. You feel the thing go. I'm like, oh shit.
Right.
But no, it's still a bitch to go down the stairs with anything. So you need an escalator apparently.
Yeah.
Walkout basement. Yay.
Yeah. I only have 4 steps to my thing. He had 12. Jesus. And I was like, dude, this is fucking sketchy.
24.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I've got 24 steps to the top.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. I got 14 floors up.
And my
But Ray has at least an elevator. But shit, right? 24? Damn.
Yeah, and I don't even have a high basement ceiling. My basement ceiling is only like 8 feet high. It's
Holy
just it's
crap.
just like the angle that it goes up. I don't know. It's fucking weird. But yeah, there's 24.
Yeah,
Oh,
no.
man.
If you'd be, I think you might be beat if you had Trilogy. I can't reach the top of Trilogy.
I can.
I
actually have
can't
stuff
reach
on
the
top
top of Trilogy.
I actually have parts and stuff right now in my garage on top of my Trilogy because I can reach my hand up there and grab it, and I can see it. So when I walk in, so I'm like, oh yeah, I left that bag up there, so I can just grab the bag and move. Yeah.
I
So
bet-
uh,
Big
Sorry,
question.
is that an MVC2 cab in the back? I just saw it.
no, that's the Dreamcast kiosk.
It says PlayStation underneath it.
Yes, it does because the PlayStation kiosk used to be on top of it until I sold that. And the
Oh.
Dreamcast kiosk, the
I was so
Dreamcast kiosk is. Hang on, I'll turn the light on and show you.
Sorry,
The
I was so
Dreamcast
confused. I was staring
kiosk-
at it for like 5 minutes. I was like, wait, MVC2 was never on PlayStation 1. I just had to Google it to make sure I'm not going crazy.
Am I not logged into my Gobi anymore? Oh shit, I'm not logged in.
I thought you
I'm
were
trying
trying
to
to think one.
With this whole move I'm doing, I'm contemplating if I should go and change my computer to Ryzen.
You should.
Why?
Oh, it's just gonna complicate things.
There's no benefit.
Is it?
Yeah.
So worth it.
Ryzen
64?
CPU, not the GPU.
No, but that because it doesn't mix and match.
Yeah,
If you're gonna do NVIDIA GPU, the Ryzen is gonna not play well with it.
No, it doesn't. I use Ryzen 5s. All my PCs are Ryzen 5. The one
You
that we sent to your buddy,
can, but
you
there
built
are
Ryzen 5
a few.
PC for your buddy's house at Dead 4. That was a Ryzen 5 PC with an NVIDIA graphic card. Yo, they run like titties together.
Oh, it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, they run perfectly.
I
together.
did the VPNs with Ryzen to NVIDIA.
I only use Ryzen.
Only
on
a few emulators or
Well-
a few games have some problem with Ryzen.
I was trying to remember. Yeah, because the shooter games, I don't think there were no games. There were no games on Tony's House of the Dead 4 that had a problem with the Switch.
No.
And I've never had. I'm listening to some of the groups where people
No,
had a
it's-
problem with the NVIDIA mixer.
It's Radeon. Radeon has problems with
Yes.
AMD. And Radeon has problems with emulation in general, and it's the TeknoParrot stuff. That's why when we go into game settings, we see AMD fix,
AMD fix.
AMD Radeon.
Yeah, for
Radeon.
graphics.
Radeon. Yeah, Radeon.
Okay, yes.
Radeon.
I mean,
Radeon is a gas.
Patreon, Radeon.
Oh, actually,
Yeah.
Eric
So-
fixed Rambo on that. He figured out how to fix Rambo on a Ryzen.
oh, Eric's even here. Hey, Eric.
Yeah.
Ray, take a look over my shoulder.
So, oh, I see. You're using the PlayStation as a standee.
Yeah, so when I
It's a
got
real stand.
when I got my wow, the light's actually pretty good in here. When I got my PlayStation 1 kiosk, I needed a stand for it, so I ordered that stand from Game Room Solutions, and I decided it looked like the PlayStation Pepsi kiosk. But then I sold that 3 weeks ago, a month ago,
Right,
something
that's
like
what I
that.
thought. Mm.
And my Dreamcast kiosk was sitting on this table behind me, so I'm like, I'm just going to put the Dreamcast over there. And then the other kiosk I had that was like an empty thing, I was going to make a Nintendo kiosk out of it. That's what that Neo Geo is sitting on right now.
Okay, I was so confused. Oh, speaking of that, Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is coming back in the Capcom Fighting Collection. Remember?
Man, that's
Yeah.
Awesome. Can we all buy that one and play together? I think we can play.
I'm 100%. I already got on pre-order.
For what? It's not
we're
on Steam.
going
yet.
nuts.
No,
for
I'm
it.
kidding. I didn't do pre-order, but I'm buying it.
No, but you're buying it for what? PS5?
I'm going to buy it for Switch, and I'm going to probably get it on Steam.
Yeah, I'm gonna get the
I'm
Steam.
going to buy
version.
both.
I would get it
I'll
on
put my
Steam.
Switch.
I wouldn't even look at the Switch.
I like Switch.
I do like.
I do too. I do too, but
I don't know if it's cross compatible though. I don't know if Switch can play with Steam
It
players.
probably won't.
Probably
I don't
won't,
think
no.
so.
Honestly, probably won't. So
No, I just kind of
we
want.
all have to pick a platform, and it's probably going to be Steam. That
I
Yeah.
want the physical copy of it. So I know, right? I want the physical copy of it though. If they come out with a physical copy, so I'll buy it on the Switch for physical copy. Which I wouldn't doubt that there is. Somebody's going to have a physical copy. We probably might even get a limited run version of it on physical copy, if that's the case.
That's gonna be awesome. 1 through and all the characters are unlocked and everything. That's gonna be fucking great.
I know. I can't wait to lose to you again.
and then I'll blame the lag.
Yeah, right.
My controller was broken.
It's not gonna be laggy on a
Yeah.
2D game. A 2D game is pretty. I play with Eric once in a rare while for the Street Fighters. There's
Right.
no lag.
When that comes out, we need to do a live stream. One of our live streams needs to be us four playing Marvel vs. Capcom 2 through Steam.
Oh yeah.
I
That would
wonder
be cool.
We do a double share on all the screens, or just a share on one screen. And
Oh,
then
yeah.
share on one would be good because it'll be the
That-
same. It'll be the same game. It was
Yeah,
playing-
but we want
one-
to. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One person shares the screen, and then we have our face cams where we all cut each other out.
Community
I
where
can't
everyone
wait.
just goes in a room and then dukes it out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys. On that note, I got to bounce. I've got the real job, but
fuck you.
You guys keep living the dream.
You mean the real job of going to the pool tomorrow?
Bye, guys. Yeah, no.
I don't know. Will we switch roles now?
Later, Brad.
I'll catch you guys online and chat. I will see you guys. Hopefully, we'll do another stream. Hopefully, in the 2-week kind of time frame. We'll talk. We'll get something scheduled.
Like that, yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah, not July 4th though.
We'll work it out. All right. Catch you
later,
guys
Brad.
later.
See you, Brad.
All right, yeah, we can call it for today. Actually, I'm still pretty sweaty.
Are you? We can't tell.
Huh? No, my air conditioner is not strong enough, and I have a lot of LEDs still black.
I have, and down here I have like 3 fans. It's like a must. I need my fans.
You have central air, don't you?
Yeah, right.
No, not in the basement.
Ugh.
Your central air doesn't go to your basement?
No, when it never did, and when I was redoing the house, I was gonna put a split unit where my desk was, but then I was like,
down there at all?
Huh?
You got no heat down there at all?
I have no heat and no AC, but it's like, it's perfect though, because I'm not hot right now. It's just luckily I have a fan. In the winter, it's very warm down here because I have my boiler room right here. So it's like,
I was going to say, when we were there in the summertime, it was pretty comfortable down there, actually.
Yeah, it is. You definitely, like I said, I need the fans, like, because sometimes you get, and again, with all the fucking screens on, you need something, but yeah.
Yeah, but this is summer right now. This is a fucking heat wave.
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, and that's what I was, like right now. So right now, I'm working on this, and now I'm contemplating because like my camera, I've never streamed from like this,
right?
But like my computer. If I look at like my CPU, I'm at 100% CPU usage.
Really?
And that's because of Firefox and OBS. And look at my camera froze. It's like, see?
Get rid of Firefox. Why are you using Firefox?
I'm using it for StreamYard.
Why?
What?
Why? I'm using it to watch you guys.
Why?
What do you mean? How do you guys do it?
No, he's using Firefox as his main browser. I'm using Edge. Way better.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Edge is better now? I remember Edge is fucking Internet Explorer.
No, Edge is Chrome based. It's way better.
Yeah, now it's way better, yeah.
Yeah, Internet Explorer's already been defunct. It's already removed. You can't even download it anymore.
Yeah, but now I thought Edge was glorified Internet Explorer.
No, it's completely different. It's Chrome based.
So people aren't even using Chrome? They're using...
It's still technically Microsoft, but they're using its own Chrome-based system.
Yeah, it's way better. It has. I don't use the AI, but the AI is built in, and you can also use the Chrome extensions and apps too. Like I have the ad blocker, malware bytes. They all work.
I'm always a big fan of Firefox, but I didn't know Edge was Edge is Chrome based.
Yeah,
it's good. It's good. Safe too.
Yeah, so now it's like, I'm doing this whole LaunchBox move, but then my PC, I'm running right now. This is an old PC. It's like, it's going to hit maybe 4 to 5 years.
Are you transferring files?
That's crazy. That's considered old in PC age.
I know, right? That's and I mean, on this, what is my graphics card? I think I'm running a 2070 on this.
That's still a great graphics card, man. Those things still go.
No, it is. It's just I'm the type where right now I don't mind. I'll spend the money on it if I have to.
Yeah. How many games are on your 42 terabyte?
Okay, so right now, and I still have to add PC games.
Mm-hmm.
My camera might die right now, meaning I'll freeze because for some reason, if I'm launching stuff.
No, if you're transferring files, then the transfer will eat up the cache, which will burn your CPU at 100%.
No, that's the thing. I'm not transferring anything. I also think that it's possibly my USB extender that I have in front of the cab.
USB maximum length should only be 15 feet.
Oh no, I'm not even. I'm at like the 3. I'm using like the wall mounted thing. So right now, and I'm missing PC games and I'm missing TeknoParrot. I'm clocked in at 50,498 games.
Jesus Christ!
I'll be brutally honest though. One big thing I did was I downloaded the Exodus. And Exodus alone, which is the MS-DOS, that's 7,600 games.
Whoa.
That's Exodus. And I'll be honest, it's actually funny. I got the kiddo's touchscreen computer.
Yeah.
I put all MS-DOS on it because I want her to play like Mario teaches typing and all that shit.
Yeah.
my original file set, I had games that weren't working. So my wife was, I'm pretty sure it's on it. My wife was like, "Oh, do you have this old game that I used to play? It was like, you were like a dog, like named Spot or some shit like that." And I was like, "I bet you I have it." And then sure enough, I found it. I tried to launch it. It didn't work. I'm like, "Oh, shit." But now I wiped out my MS-DOS, and now I have this Exodus. But Exodus alone, man, that was a big download.
Is that the one that had battle chess on it? The original battle chess?
Maybe.
Possibly. Let me see. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna look
like
right now.
Pawn was like it was like a space battle chess. I remember the pawn was this little slimy thing, and the queen had big ass tits. That's what I remember from my childhood.
Everything had big ass tits when we were kids. Everything. All cartoons had big titties.
Yeah, it was completely unfiltered. Everything was like Jessica Rabbit.
April O'Neil had big titties and an ass.
Wait, let me see. Hold on, wait.
She
this right now.
The low-cut zipper.
Yeah.
I literally, so like I said, and I'm a fan of MS-DOS. I like it. Sounds weird, but people like it's an arcade. The Exodus file that I downloaded last week or 2 weeks ago, 759 gigs.
Damn, dude.
Yeah. So definitely you're going to be like, no, there's going to be people like, oh, I don't need all that. I'm like, all right, so you just take that out.
You can.
But it's almost a gig worth of fucking MS-DOS. What did you say the game was? Now, see,
Battle Chess. I think it was called Battle Chess 3000. See if I can find it.
I could search it, Derp.
Did you know that you can run the MS-DOS games on RetroArch and use the arcade sticks that way?
How? What do you mean?
You just RetroArch has
RetroArch, yes.
Yeah, has the emulators built into it, so you just use that. That's how I got Doom 2, Wolfenstein 3D, and Doom working.
It's actually available on Steam. You don't even need to emulate it. The old Battle Chess is available. Oh, cool.
I have 4 of them. I have Battle Chess 2 Chinese Chess, Battle Chess Enhanced, and Battle Chess 4000.
Oh, I think my Battle Chess 4000. Let me see. Is that
how much is it on Steam, right?
Oh, yeah, it was 4000. The original Battle Chess on Steam, I think, is like $10. Really?
$10. Jesus Christ.
$10. Shit. But can you play online?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah. Share, remote play together, family sharing.
It's remastered.
Okay, look up Battle Chess 4000 and look at the queen.
Oh, wait, let's
Why don't you share your screen?
Don't you hate when we do that?
Yeah, okay. All right, yeah, all right. That's because it was fun.
So like I said, while you're doing that, like I said, my idea right now, I mean, I'm investing so much time on this LaunchBox thing. I'll spend the money on a new computer. I might as well get like a 4060. And that's what I was gonna say. Should I get Ryzen or should I stick with my Intels?
Get a Ryzen, man. I'm telling you, Ryzen will run it better.
Not to mention all the cores and shit.
I vote Intel.
Dude, I can't even. There was one game that I had an issue with the Ryzen. I can't even tell you what it was.
Look at this.
That's your queen.
So long ago. That's really funny.
Yeah, because this is it has like 3 games back then, and it was like, oh, your pawn is this little squid thing. You got like a robo. You got like a knight for your like a fighter, but the queen was always the best part.
I'd buy this and play this on my Steam Deck. This is $10. I'll buy this and play this with you, right?
Yeah, this is actually available for. Oh, but you can't play online if you get the original. Yeah, this is the original one. This is like when you were a kid, like you saw every game, every character.
I remember this game.
Yeah.
See, it's it's funny, and like I said, I grew up on MS-DOS, and it's like everybody has that same reaction, like, oh shit, I remember that. I want to play it now. It's like,
which is funny. I grew up on Amiga. Which is
really, I didn't,
because my cousin had the computer and he had the game, so he had an Amiga. And I didn't get into a Windows computer until like 95, 96. And by then, I wasn't even playing DOS games at that point.
It's interesting what Eric just wrote. Ryzen for gaming, Intel for multitasking.
Yeah.
I would have thought Ryzen was good for multitasking. I thought it was more cores. Every time I look at Ryzen, it's more cores.
Yeah, and the cores, the cores run fantastically. On an Intel 5 and using a GP or 1650 low profile, I can't run PS3 like the Lycon games for PS3. I can't run that, and I can't run Namco 357 because of the Intel. If I switch to a Ryzen 5 with a 1650, same graphic card, it's running like butter with 8 gigs of RAM.
Minimum. I think I'm gonna. Here's another question for you guys. Are you guys on Windows 11 or are you guys still on Windows 10?
I'm on 11. I hate 11.
like I said, I got to see if Windows 11, does it do anything performance-wise?
Difference for me is the Windows key for Windows 10 is $10, and the Windows 11 key is like $60.
No, Windows 11 is at 20 now.
You can get one for $20.
That's also another thing because I have like my
VIP URCD keys, $22, legitimate keys. You can update and everything.
That's it. That's that right. Every time Godfather goes off, that means that it's been the 2-hour mark.
That's funny.
It's every time.
But yeah, I use 11 because I want all the security features. Because sooner or later, 10 will stop updating their security shit, and people have targeted 10 more. That's why I also switched from Chrome to using Edge, because that virus that we both got hit with, remember, Vic, those years ago that stole their YouTube channel? It targeted
Not
Chrome.
mine.
Yeah, you lost your YouTube channel at one point, remember?
No.
He's like,
Maybe Joel?
No, I didn't lose mine.
No, I know one of my friends lost. Anyway,
somebody got me on Facebook. Facebook, I got hacked.
They target Chrome cookies, but if you use Edge, it's a little harder because they're not looking for that folder.
I really have to look into this Edge now. You guys are blowing my mind.
It's time to come into the new century. Use Edge, Windows 11, malware.
The AI is fantastic. The AI is what made my logo for my business.
I haven't tried AI yet, but yeah, it looks cute.
Yeah, it's cool.
I did not know that. Everybody was trying to tell me to go into Chrome, but for me to go into Microsoft Edge, I am like shocked.
Yeah, it doesn't matter whether you use Chrome or
Edge. They're both pretty much all the same, but I like Edge better because it looks cleaner to me.
Wow,
I keep everything very minimal.
Everything changes.
Obsessed with white.
No, not the color. The UI is more simplified. I want to keep it as simple.
But it's also very crazy because as I look at my task manager, I somehow have 2, 4, 6, 8. I have 12 windows named Microsoft Edge Web View 2 open. Like, what the fuck is that?
Why do you have that open?
I don't. If I end it, it just comes back.
No, it's something else. I think it's something's rendering in there. I know that.
Luckily, it's not eating a lot. It's just like, why is there 12 fucking Microsoft Edge?
Yeah, it's just Windows. It uses Edge by default for a bunch of stuff. Actually, no, I don't have it. I don't have it on mine. Windows.
There's also like with this computer, for some reason, I have uTorrent set to not launch when I start Windows, but it just does.
Yeah, mine too.
Oh, you should switch to QBitTorrent. It's actually safer.
QBitTorrent?
QBitTorrent or Free Download Manager. Free Download Manager can download from archive.org at lightning fast speeds. If you download without it, it's slow as shit.
Yeah, it's super slow.
Yeah, so use Free Download Manager, right-click the link and pop it in. It'll download at like max speed, like 30 megs.
It's funny you mentioned that archive.org directly is super slow because I thought it was my laptop. No. And I've just left it running for like overnight when I'm downloading certain things, but I'm glad to know that it's not just me.
No, I don't know why they do it that way, or they have some kind of compression, or they don't want that one client to rip their files. But yeah, if you use Free Download Manager, it'll bypass the speed limit. QBitTorrent is better for torrenting. uTorrent is a little bit outdated. And if the startup issue, check your task manager. Task manager startup.
Yeah, like startup. No, that's the thing. I don't have uTorrent. I have it set to disable.
So do I.
You have it set to disable. Then check inside your startup's folder and see if there's a shortcut in there. That's what's causing it to bypass this.
Interesting.
That's
why they said I'm my main thing right now is I got to get the LaunchBox, and then I'm going to probably just flash my C drive. And then I'm also going to start looking into, for customers, like I usually do 1 terabyte M.2. I'm probably going to bump it to like 4 terabyte because, the fighting, like Tekken 8, Street Fighter 5, like I need that on M.2. I can't have that on. I always have it on my M.2, but I'm downloading more games now, and I'm hitting. Yeah. Right now, my C drive, I legit have like 100 gigs open.
Oh yeah, I use M.2 purely for my drive. I don't even use spinning at all.
Same.
Like, 4 terabyte for everything now.
Yeah, no, I have my spinning for like basic shit.
Yeah, I don't want to keep anything on my C because it's a risk. Like if anything crashes and then you got to reload the whole C, that's a problem. And you can't.
I was running into that issue with arcades because I was putting everything on the C drive.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I got to separate these drives now because I lost a bunch of C drives.
Also, it's not a great idea to move a boot drive from one PC to a different PC in case you change CPUs or whatever.
Yeah, I'm not trying to do that. No.
Yeah. It's okay if it's identical, too many PCs, exactly the same brand. But actually, even that might have issues with the registry because the motherboard number is different.
Yeah, no, I got to do it in a way that like I said, once the LaunchBox everything's set, I'll invest in a new computer because I'm planning to stream. Like I said, for the summer now, I'm just going to do a lot of streaming. I can't.
You can
be in the
also just add a M.2 as an external, not the C. You can add a 4 terabyte as a D drive or whatever.
Yeah, not to mention the motherboards I usually get have 2 M.2 slots. Yeah. So I'll get a 4 terabyte and have it as, like you said, like a D drive.
External, yeah, that's what I do. So that if you need to wipe out your computer due to hacking or bad whatever, it doesn't affect your game list whatsoever.
Well, the plus side of that too is, for Vic and I, when we're building it, we can just clone the drive.
Correct. If you can clone the external, then it's not a problem.
Yeah.
If there's no Windows boot manager on it,
all the stuff's on the drive. All the games are on the drive. You don't got to worry about anything else because it's just the game build and any drivers that you need. I put on mine too. Put that in the cloning machine. Let it clone the drive. Plug it into the machine. It's like you never unplugged it before.
Yeah. I keep one slot open so that I can just pop in another M.2 and direct transfer at full speed.
Right.
Yeah, actually faster than cloning because cloning is bit for bit. So even if you don't have, let's say you have a 1 terabyte, right? But you only have 100 megs of data on it. If you clone, it's going to clone 1 terabyte bit for bit, which is slow. But if you're just transferring, you only transfer what you need.
I don't know. Well, right, but
if you're maxed out, then it's not relevant. If it's maxed out,
I'm not relevant at all. That's not relevant at all for me. But either way, if I do a 1 terabyte clone, it's an hour on the drive. Yeah. If I go to transfer those folders from folder to folder or from folder to drive onto my PC, that's like fucking 18 hours.
That's because you're capped by the USB. You have to put it directly into the slot.
Right. So cloning for me is a hell of a lot better. It was taking me, when I was doing the 20 terabyte drives before I was cloning them, it was taking me 4 or 5 days just to copy all those folders over.
Damn.
Yeah. So I'm like, there's got to be a faster way. So
I was the one that told you about those cloners.
Yeah.
So it's 2 days on the cloner, or it's 5 days on the PC. So you do 2 days on the cloner.
Also, on the PC, you have a chance. You risk a chance of the copy not going through perfectly.
Exactly.
If you don't use a manager.
That happens a lot. I get a lot of customers that are like, "Oh, I copied it over to my C drive," and I just, whenever I get that comment or response, I just tell them like, "I'm not touching it."
Because
I'm like,
the RAM crashed out. The RAM capped out.
No, people just do that anyways because they want the drive on the PC. So they'll copy my entire drive over their PC, not knowing that you can just remove it from the external case and put it inside their PC. Because I use SSDs inside an external case. Right. But so I tell them you can either do that or you can plug that drive back in and then I'll set it up for you. I'm like, because if you copy stuff over, chances are all of it didn't copy over.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you won't know that until we start messing around with it and I'm not wasting my time.
You're missing one freaking data file in that LaunchBox and that's it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's too dangerous to do it that way. So I might just plug my drive in. That's why I sent it to you. Or call me back and we'll schedule another time after you put the drive inside your actual PC. One or the other.
Yeah, and then essentially your LaunchBox folder is like, you could copy and paste that to anything, right?
Only if you put it in the root of your drive. So if your LaunchBox is within another folder, then no, the path will not be relevant.
Right, no, it's got to be like D drive LaunchBox.
Yep.
Yes.
Got it.
Mine's on the root too.
So you have, Joel, you have yours set up on like your LaunchBox is always on D drive?
No. Well, the drive letter doesn't matter because it's portable thanks to Ray. You can make that drive completely portable and you don't need a specific drive, man. Yep.
Even TeknoParrot, you can do it.
You got to put like that portable like text file.
No. TeknoParrot, you have to edit XML.
Let me rephrase. If you're going to partition the drive, then you're going to need those specific drive letters at that point. But if you're not going to partition a drive and it's just one big flat fucking drive, your drive letter won't matter because you can make it completely portable. You just go into the emulators and you delete the drive letter. Ray taught me that.
Got it. So right now, all my LaunchBox stuff, there's no drive letter exactly. It's just like
Right.
slash videos.
So, but do not move. Do not keep your games or emulators outside of the LaunchBox folder. It has to be inside LaunchBox/emulator.
Yeah.
And PCIX2 or LaunchBox/games. They organize it for you already, so you should follow their file structure.
Right.
And, if that's the case, then when you inside LaunchBox, everything will be relative to itself. So the game path will be like game/PSP God of War.
Yeah.
Right. So it's actually funny because with that whole Exodus thing, what did I discover? Somebody, I forgot the term. Hold on.
That probably became portable too because they removed the drive letter from the original build.
Yeah.
No, I had to actually.
You can do that in TeknoParrot. You got to go to get into the gamer profiles and do it in TeknoParrot to remove that drive letter. And the more TeknoParrot games you got, the longer that's going to take.
No, you can do it in one shot. Notepad++ can do it. You can have them do it.
If
you know what I did? So for this Exodus, I had to use I think it's called Syslink, a system link.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so it basically like it's almost like a shortcut.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's like a system link. So like I put this Exodus folder in LaunchBox.
Right.
But my real Exodus folder is on my G drive.
Why?
Because it's fucking 700 gigs.
Wait, you're using 42 terabytes, right?
So that would be
Where is LaunchBox? LaunchBox is within one of those 42 terabytes?
No, I have like my Hyperspin. LaunchBox is always in the C drive.
Oh, yeah, that's a bad idea.
So your games folder
is not, the path is not relative then. It has a specific drive letter. So that's painful. You're better off putting the LaunchBox folder inside the 42 and outside of the
hold on. You're getting rid of Hyperspin altogether, right?
Yeah.
Right. So your games are located in your Hyperspin folder?
No.
Where your games are just in a
my games technically are scattered amongst 4 drives.
Okay.
Oh.
That's
so you got to think like I have, for example, like I have an home drive.
You can remove the drive letters for most of that.
No, he can't.
You can. I have
so think of it as this, right? And I've done this for years. I've done it with Hyperspin. I hear what you're saying. It's basically, like I said, I had Hyperspin in the C drive, and then let's say my PS2 ROM folder was in the G drive.
Right.
And then on the new computer, I usually always try to put a G drive, you know what I mean? Yeah. But if it doesn't exactly line up, then I just have to change the directory of the ROMs. That's okay. My issue that I always run into is when it comes to my Tato Type X, any game that is an executable, like a PC game.
Yeah.
That's something where most of the time I have to actually change the directory for each game.
I don't.
Well, he's talking about with Hyperspin.
But like Rocket Launcher, right? That's my old way.
Rocket Launcher.
Right. So you can basically eliminate half that, but running specific drive letters for those specific games, you're going to have to end up doing.
Yeah.
Right. So because you put your LaunchBox on your C drive, and then the games are on different drive letters. So just make a note of which drive goes with what.
Yeah, no, I've been doing it for years. It's something where it's like I know it's like a basic thing.
Well, here's the thing: when you clone those drives all together like that, once you're done cloning them, and you plug them into your PC, you just change the drive letters.
Right. That's it. That's all it is.
And then you're done.
Yeah, but you have to also keep in mind, like for me, I have customers that might not want 42 terabytes.
Right.
So it's now like, it's always something that I always do. It's where like, like right now, my PS2 games are, let's say, is on the G drive. Yeah. But if somebody only wants like 8 terabytes, then I got to change G drive PS2. I put it to only the D drive, let's say. So either way, every time I do a build, I make sure everything's like lined up. I make sure games launch. I do all that. But it's also funny, like earlier, like you mentioned before, like the guy had RetroArch for MAME. I'm using my standalone MAME.
Right.
But when I'm going to do game streams, I'm actually going to launch in RetroArch because it does have it's got the retro achievements, which to me it's like I think it's really awesome. I think it's like cool.
Yeah.
It's cool to have. I wish, but at least you could do retro achievements, but it's got to be through RetroArch.
So how many drives are you running here? 4?
I have right now, I'll tell you right now.
42. The maximum is 18, so 32. No, that's 40. That's not right.
Well, I have right now
22 terabyte drives.
So I have 3. They're technically 14 terabytes, but they're dropped down to 12.7 because after they're formatted.
Oh, you're using 14s, okay.
So I have 3 14s and I have 1 16.
So why don't you just get 2 22 terabyte drives?
I usually don't. I don't like those monster drives like that. I also make sure that I'm doing the 7,200 RPM drives.
Yeah, that's fine.
I always make sure of that. So sometimes, like, I don't know if that 22 terabyte is going to really be spinning at like 54 because it's
to me it's 78. That's for sure. Let me see. There's no way it's that slow for that big of a drive. Otherwise, it'll take forever. Yeah, 7,200 RPM.
70, as long as it's 72, but now, I mean, the only question is if you get a 22 terabyte, what is it really?
20, probably.
It's like 20 and it's like 20 and a half.
Yeah.
Because I get the 20 terabyte, and it's actually a lot less than that actually because my
it's probably like 18.7. Like I said, right now I'm looking at it now. I have a 14 terabyte drop down to 12.7.
No, I had a 16 because my original drive was 16 terabytes, and I threw it on a 20 terabyte, and it gave me almost 3.5 of space, terabytes of space. And I've upped it a little bit, so I only have like 2.5 terabytes of space. So I think it only took up like 500 gigs for the initial space. I think it only took up like 500 gigs.
You could technically raid it too, by the way. If you raid it,
I was looking into that, and honestly, I feel like it's just it's extra steps that I just don't need.
Oh, you can't raid it because you got to clone. Once you clone, you can't. Oh,
yeah,
Jeffrey.
I'm not dealing with that. I'm not worried about that.
My done new Windows, but now gonna.
But now the license.
Joel, could you resend him that file, please?
Yes.
Wait, yeah, that's all. Yeah, we'll send it to Jeffrey. Don't worry.
Jeffrey, I don't know your last name or remember your order number, so just shoot me an email. I'll put my email in the banner. Hang on. Just shoot me an email, and there we go.
And yeah.
There's nobody won anything. But just email me. Yeah, I know you didn't win anything. Just email me and tell me that you're Dr. Jeffrey W. in your subject line so that I know that it's you, and then I'll know exactly what to send you.
I said this LaunchBox move is great. I think it's like also it's cool because you could actually put your images and videos in different locations. Yes. Which is like to me it's a pretty big deal. I said every time I've done a build, especially with Hyperspin, even now, my emulators and media alone is almost like 500 gigs.
Yeah, you're just pointing the path and direction.
Right, which I think is great. The only thing I'm having not an issue right now is the EMU movies download. I feel like I'm not getting. It's almost like I do it console by console.
Right.
And then it's like I feel like it's trying to search for so many games that it starts to download and then it cuts it.
No, the newer ones, the newer systems.
Fine.
Like so when Ray told me about the theme videos, I started downloading it, and then sure enough, I see it says they're like downloading 10 out of 1100, and then it'll go to like 86 out of 1100, and then out, done. Right. So I'm like, did I download all 1100?
No, you can just go to the videos folder and see. You can literally just go to your LaunchBox/videos folder and then it'll sort by console. Like, for example, it's SNES, and you can see how many videos are in there.
Well, the other thing also that I'm not totally understanding is that because you have the option to download low res, high res, super HD or something like that, and then you got the theme. So now it's like I don't want to download 4 fucking videos.
I try to only do the theme. Just pick theme.
Right, but now not every game has a theme though.
So you pick theme and HD.
He's not talking about theme. He's talking about the individual videos for the individual games.
Yeah, that is. They have what they call theme videos is when the artwork slides in, and that's like point blank too.
That's for the theme.
No. That's actual. That's what I sent you the video of because you're like, what the fuck is that? They have the theme videos per game.
Yeah, the art style. Yeah, I made sure to have.
So it's almost like sometimes if you see it on like this is Hyperspin.
Okay, look at behind. That's a video snap.
That's a video snap. But if I do, let's say like House of the Dead.
Now I know what you're talking about. No, yeah, I asked, how did you get
like that? That's a theme.
That's a theme video.
Yeah, they categorize it as themed. Correct. That's per game.
So how do I change that to that in my big box? Is what I'm asking.
You just set.
You have to download the video.
I got no.
I have the videos.
If you have the videos, right, you go to tools.
You have the theme videos downloaded?
Yes.
Yeah, tool options, and then go down to media, video priorities, and then you move theme video to the top. Video snap is the bottom. So if the game does not have a theme video, it'll go down to video snap. If it doesn't have a snap, it'll go down to recording. If it doesn't have recording, it'll go down to trailer. If it doesn't have, and then marquee is the last, of course.
See, that's the only thing that's confused me with that is now you technically need now like you got to run your downloader twice now. You got to download video themes.
No.
And then games that don't have the video theme.
No, once. So when you add a game, the option is 4 checkboxes, right?
What he's saying is he just wants one of them. He doesn't, because you have to do that with every game.
I have 2 for each game.
Right. So he doesn't want 2 for each game. He wants 1 for each game.
Well, no. The real thing. So wait, Ray, go explain. Go ahead.
All right. So you do your ROM import set, right? Let's take GameCube, for example. It's like 700 something games. Okay. And then it's going to say videos. And then on the right side, you see Emu Movies. Emu Movies has more videos than the LaunchBox form usually has. Right. So you want to select theme and HD. Okay. So because the low res ones is the same thing as the regular snap, but just ugly looking. All right. So when you have both per game, all right, the video files aren't that big. Both per game, you always have at least a video.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So it'll go if you do the priorities like I just said. It'll look for theme first. So when you're looking at your game, the theme should be the first one, and then if they don't find it, it'll go down. It'll use the snap that's available. If that's not available, then probably that game doesn't have shit.
Got it. And then at least technically you're gonna have at least 2 videos per game. Right.
I have 2 videos per game, and then a marquee too, because I want marquee screens.
So that's actually I'm gonna have to check that out because I actually changed my search settings to download the HD video. I wanted the high res one because I have low res, and it looks like it honestly it doesn't look good. Yeah, low res.
Make sure you check HD, and then for the artwork, I honestly only download the front box art and the clear logo because the rest is just junk. Like you're never gonna look at the
that's where it got kind of the only thing I kind of like, but I had to figure out the theme. I saw one time way early on LaunchBox when you do the loading, and it shows like the disc, and then it actually starts like to spin.
Oh, that's done by LaunchBox automatically. That's not a video or anything. So as long as it's a console game with the disc, you can set it to do that. But not
I kind of like that. So I'm gonna have to download the disc. I'll download the disc images for that.
Not every theme does that, but the one I use does. Like a Night City Hunter does that. On the loading screen, you have to enable loading screen though. If you want it fast, like just to cut to the game, you can disable loading screen and just go straight through.
Interesting. My camera died. See, it's like something's up with my computer.
No, I think it's the USB extender is bad.
Could be.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe you're right.
Maybe you're right.
By the way, if anyone in the chat wants a ROG Ally, I'm selling mine. I want to buy the X now.
So buy Ray's shitty ROG Ally so he can get the X.
No, it's like brand new.
And then you got his shitty ROG Ally.
I haven't touched my Steam Deck in a long time. That's why I said I'm planning to do a lot more streaming, but I'm going to do it right from this computer. I'll play fucking NES, Super NES, and
my Steam Deck is one of those. Oh, I picked it up 3 months ago. I don't remember where I put it down.
I'll probably sell my Steam Deck. I don't know. It's a great. The handheld stuff is great. I'm trying to get the kiddo into it, but it's a little bit too bulky for her. Even the Switch.
You want to get your kids into video games?
Hell yeah! I go, man. I'm waiting for her to hit that age where we could just side by side and just play.
Yeah, right.
We luckily could do that with pinball. Like she's actually like hitting modes. I'm surprised on pinball.
Right.
So I'm like, awesome. We were playing like Lycon games earlier today, so it's just kind of funny to just see her like waving around an aim track.
I wonder why. Yeah, because of the fucking aim track.
That's really funny.
Yes, I saw the Gamers Nexus confrontation interview. That was a long ass video, by the way. But because Asus had some issues with their warranty where they were scamming people saying, "Oh, you sent it in for this issue, but then your LCD's broke at $200."
Oh,
yeah, that wasn't cool. So I don't know how Ace is going to handle that in the future. They're Taiwanese, not known for the best communication. Sorry, like their service is
so mildly racist.
Well, I speak Taiwanese too, but the fact of the matter is that they don't really have a strong customer service like background. Like that SD card issue was a thing, and they weren't too focused on it. They were focused on churning out the products, but yeah. So, but now everyone's calling them out. Linus Tech Tip called them out.
I think I saw that video. That's why when you're talking about
Nexus, like went pretty hard on it. Like and then now they hopefully will get their shit together and reimburse everybody. Any money that they took to fill their KPIs, because they were like, oh, we need to fill out all of our key performance indicators, and that means X amount of repairs, X amount of money in, and that's just kind of scammy. Yeah, that's not cool. All right, I do got to take another piss, but I'm ready to call it one if you guys are. It's 12.
You got one question in chat for Joel, real quick.
Yeah.
What's it say?
And then I'm gonna
use my sending guns on all the MAME games. Plug and play with your XL box. Yeah, so there should be like 130 light gun games on there, all compatible with the sending light gun. Just plug it in, and it's all. Your sending gun has to be updated. So make sure you Make sure you have a regular computer. Download the sending software to the computer, and update your sending software if it just took off. As I was talking about sending.
I'm here. It's my camera just like freezing. I don't get it, but whatever.
Plug in the sending software to the PC, and then update it through the sending software on your Windows PC, and then plug it into the Batocera build. It has to be 100% updated, otherwise it's not going to work. So I learned that the hard way a few times. But yeah, the short answer to the question, yes. All of them. We're talking, your Area 51, Carnival, Big Buck Hunter, Hogan's Alley, Duck Hunt, shit like that. Tons of shit.
All right, I said I'm gonna have to do some research. I'll look into, like I said, probably like in the next week or two, I'll look into updating this computer, and I was gonna aim to go for Ryzen. To be honest with you, I was gonna go.
You might just change out the CPU on it, right? See if the motherboard.
No, for me, me personally, if I'm doing that, I'll spend the extra $120 on a new motherboard.
Okay.
I'll buy a CPU. I just discovered them on 16 gigs of RAM. I thought it was at 32, but I'll just get another 2 sticks.
You might want to spend a little bit more money and get like a $200-$300 motherboard so that you have more M.2 slots and faster transfer lanes with USB-C and everything. This way, because cheaper motherboards, right? Because with all those hard drives, your PCI, your SATAs are going to be capped out. It might be slower. So
right. It's more
worth
about
investing. It's worth investing in a good motherboard that's going to last you a while. And you can sell your old one and make some money back.
Yeah, that I'm not too worried about. That's what I said. The graphics card too, which I still didn't even look at.
CPU is fine for that. Yeah, but just for transferring all that shit and loading all that media, you definitely want a better CPU.
Well, it's actually funny because I have as far as like transfers, I have like the externals. So this is like my main. And then I take the main and I send it to the external, and then that's like my backup. And then when I make new builds, then I use the externals.
You use a cloner, right?
No, actually, I'm kind of.
You're manually copying, pasting.
Because you got to remember, I'm a little bit on the
right.
Keep in mind though, my thing though is like the customers send me the Excel sheet, and they're like, okay, I want PS1, PS2 game.
Oh, you got to make a custom anyway.
Yeah, so like to me, it's not awful.
That's a pain in the ass.
Yes, it is.
My main thing though, like I said, people pick and choose their consoles and their games.
Why don't you get a little like a direct touch storage?
Giving my customers ideas, Vic.
Sorry.
Why don't you get like a mini NAS and put your four drives in there so that your 42 terabytes become portable now?
It's a good idea.
Nah. Now keep in mind with this though. Because again, my computer in this is also the ultimate console, so I could literally pick up the entire. I could take the tower, I could bring it to another desk, and I have all 42 terabytes in.
Yeah, but you still got to transfer them out.
No.
To make a new build. That's what you just said.
Yeah.
No, so I'll do that via USB. Like I'll put that into like the
Right. What I'm saying, USB is slow. You're capped off at 480 megabits per second because I saw your USB port.
While I'm building and cutting wood, I let it run.
I hate that.
Man, that's crazy.
USB speed cap.
Well, honestly, it's for me. My 8 terabyte like PS3 file transfer will probably take me about a day and a half. Yeah, but now keep in mind that's from the external drive to the new PC.
Yeah.
So like that's like the only way for me to really improve on that is like
USB-C protocol.
Right. Correct.
20 gigabits per second.
Correct.
Yeah. Or you can also do NAS, or you can actually, I think because your USB is so slow, if you just right click on your drive on your Ultimate PC and set it to file sharing allowed, you can actually go through to you're plugged into Ethernet on all.
Like my network, yeah.
Yeah, you can go through Ethernet, which will cap out at least 1 gig versus 480 megabits per second, which also has a higher failure rate. And you don't have to move your stuff. You don't have to physically move it. That's what I do. I set up the server in my arcade, and I transfer files to, through network from my main PC.
That's actually not a bad idea.
You have network in your house?
Huh?
You have network in your house?
Every PC can actually
network,
act as a
right?
server.
As long as you're hardwired, then
no, you can do it through Wi-Fi too.
But as long as you're through
it's like transferring through Batocera over the share.
Right, but what I'm saying is you physically set up a network for your house.
Oh yeah, I have a network for my whole house. Of course, everything is wired. Everything is hardwired, and then even my arcade, my wife's, and everything. So I can just literally drop a ROM or my whole 4 terabyte from my main to my arcade without touching a USB drive.
No shit.
That means saves me one step, which saves me a lot of time and power.
That's cool.
And on top of that, my arcade accesses my Plex server, so all my media is on the 32 terabytes there, and then I'm just streaming it to my phone, my TV. So when I go on vacation, I can watch shit from my house.
See, that's cool.
I got a 1 gig uplink from Verizon.
I gotta find out now, like, what's a good way to sell the graphics card?
2070?
Fuck, I'll buy that off you.
That's what I was gonna say. I was just gonna say, give it to me, and I'll sell it to Joel and make a cut. Or I'll just sell it to one of my other customers. I move graphics cards very easily.
So do I. I mean, it goes in.
It goes into your builds.
Rick, you can just recycle it for one of your builds. You can run that. You can run that 20.
I always like to keep current. That's like the
Also, right now, a 4070 is not expensive. It's like $500.
I don't even need a 4070. I would just do a 4060. Honestly,
4060 is $300, even cheaper.
I'm fine with the 4060 as long as I could hit 4K and I could do 120 hertz. Which again, I use the 4060 on like my V pins.
Yeah, you can.
It's set. Let me see. What do I have? What am I? I'm trying to see what the fuck I have. I'm running a 2060 Super.
Oh, 2060. Okay, that you might want to upgrade. Yeah, that's a little bit out of it.
That's not really gonna run 4K.
It will.
No, my 2060 Super runs 4K. It's good. It's just
emulation, but some PC games, I'm pretty sure you will not hit 4K max settings on Tekken 8.
Probably not.
Street Fighter 5 is not going to hit 4K max. I know that.
Street Fighter 5 might.
The other thing also is I'm going down the rabbit hole, and like I said, for this build, and again the way I made it was that I could always bring it because I have the 42-inch, the OLED I have the 120 hertz there. This one I have OLED, but it's 60 hertz. So now I kind of want to get now a 55-inch OLED, 120 hertz.
45-inch?
55.
55 120 hertz.
Which is it's an LG. It's an OLED.
What OLED do you have there in the?
No, I have an LG OLED in my living room.
What OLED do you have? What OLED do you have in your Ultimate right now?
I have a TCL. That's the one I got. So that one I got. Bobby Vu.
Nice to see you're awake.
MG.
You guys never seen MG before?
No.
He's in all the groups. He's in all the stuff.
I was going to say, if you want a 40, I'll sell you mine.
The screen I have on this was Bobby Vu. He found it on it was a Black Friday open box. I only paid $120 for this OLED.
Great. Can't beat that.
It was open box. I didn't give a shit. It was OLED, which is great. It's just now it's like, I want 120 hertz because I have it over there. So now I want it on here because I could imagine like playing Tekken 8 on this.
Tekken 8, but Tekken 8 caps at 60.
Than anything Spider-Man, for example.
Yeah.
Something like that's high. Even I tried out Elden Ring, dude. I can't get into that. People are going nuts for that shit. I cannot get into it.
I can't get into it either. I tried.
There's so much reading. I'm like, there's so many words.
Dude,
but Sakaro, I think I gotta try Sakaro. That's a game I gotta try out.
I tried playing Paper Mario, the Thousand Year Sun for the Switch. Dude, there's too much dialogue.
It's too much dialogue, yeah.
Too much dialogue.
I couldn't even play Pokemon.
The show is confusing. 4 Musketeers who can't count.
Oh, we lost
MG's
one.
late.
Yeah. Brad has to go to sleep because he has to work a normal day job.
D'Artagnan's got to go to work.
I'm always shocked that every time we do a stream, I learn something new. So now I'm gonna have to see about this Microsoft Edge.
Yeah.
I was avoiding the shit out of Microsoft Edge.
Nah, you should update everything. Trust me, it's good to be secure.
Well, we should call the show though. We said
that. Yeah,
2.5
hours.
Right?
I love you.
All right. Love you guys.
Bye, guys. See you.